know, they think that I just come in there and look for knockoffs, and that's not the case. You know, I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, well, I'm here. Who wants to fight me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighter can beat me.
Demolish everybody, to be honest. Everybody that's in my way. The pinnacle to any weight division is to have all the belts, all of the titles.
Welcome to Bodywork. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. It feels so good to be back. We right back at you with another one. And it's always a lovely day to be able to talk that good old boxing talk. I got perhaps the best co-host on the planet with me, riding shoddy as we maneuver through these YouTube boxing streets. What's going on, AC?
What's going on, bro? Another great day to talk boxing. Another great episode. So, you know, I'm ready for this.
Yeah, we've been talking and chatting, man. It's been long overdue for Dafuq is a duck. Shout out to Just for Thrills, Bodywork. Mic check, 1 2 1 2, sounding crystal clear. That's what I like to hear.
Definitely.
But yeah, man, it's always interesting, man. Normally when I would take a break and gather myself, I said, nah, man, I got to stay on the pulse, man. We got to keep talking about it. And it's something that we have been, you know, chit-chatting about here lately about a couple of these things. Just waiting for some things to kind of iron themselves out. And it seemed like we're not quite there, or we're not at least getting any announcements for real. For real. I think everybody's in a scramble, and we do got some things in the pipeline. They just haven't come out. But shoot, I'm gonna pop up this I'm gonna pop up the housekeeping unless you got something you want to get off before we get into the housekeeping.
No, today I'm good, man. It's nothing that really got up under my skin today. So yeah, it's just gonna be a fun one for me.
Word. All right, well, let me get this housekeeping up here. Number one, word on the street, May 2nd, the co-main, Resendiz versus Jamal Charlo. And I'm kind of excited, man. This is a very interesting fight, you know, because Elijah Garcia was the one who put the blemish on Resendiz record, stopped him. But Resendiz came back and he was able to he basically smacked Caleb Plant the last time out, and he that's the one who actually, like, I think that's one of the first times I seen him when he actually splattered Jarrett Hurd. Now, granted, Jarrett Hurd is not the Jarrett Hurd like of his heyday in his prime, even though defense wasn't really his specialty, but he was a high volume, had a chin, always coming forward, relentless, like just stalking you, harassing you, touching you everywhere. Resendiz stopped that, man. So Resendiz is on a roll, man. He bounced back. I like the way he fight. He do that body work, man. Anytime you can start off going to the body, and you get so effective that one, you visually see it on your opponent. Like Caleb's whole side was red after a while. I'm like, hey man, he putting some hot sauce on them ribs. You know I'm all about that body work. So I was enjoying that. And then the sweet science says that once you start going down to the ribs and then you go upstairs, because you've been going downstairs, you got to respect the fact that they're going downstairs, but the body, the arms wants to crouch and cover the abdomen area where all the vital organs are. So the arms tend to flinch. It's science. It's like if your eyeballs are seeing something going down there and it's registered, and every time I see that arm going that motion, all of a sudden I feel the sharp pain in the lever area. You know what I'm saying? It tends to make those elbows come down. And when you get them to start playing the guessing game where you throwing your feints, you go into the body, you throwing your feint, you go into the body again, you go into the head. It works like that, like where you get them to start playing the guessing game. That's what he did to Caleb Plant. Now we know Caleb Plant had the history with Mar Charlo, and everybody did want to see. I know myself, I did want to see it. I always kind of thought that was a sucker move, you know. And I once had I still got a playlist with Caleb Plant called The Rise of Plant, but Caleb Plant kind of like, you know, I didn't appreciate him doing that to Mar when he was doing the mental health. Now, Mar got to get that back. You know what I'm saying? Before it's all said and done, he got to get that back. But we wanted to see that. And instead, we got Resendiz, you know, upsetting the apple cart by beating Caleb Plant. That was one of them upsets we talked about last year. We was going through them string of upsets. And Jamal Charlo said, hey, listen, man, I still want to fight him. I know he came on Brian Custer and something was announced, but we know it was a couple of dates that got moved around. And I'm not sure whatever happened. Long story short, Resendiz beat Plant. It was supposed to be Plant. If Plant win and Jamal Charlo won, then we was going to get Plant versus Maul. That didn't happen. We got Resendiz beating Plant. Resendiz and Jaime Munguia went to the table. Those, whatever happened, that fell apart. I would have taken that too, because I did want to see Resendiz bust Jaime Munguia up. I really did. But we're getting Maul. This is going to be a test. It's like, okay, you come back again, you keep some momentum. We want to see if you still got that devastating jab, and we want to see, you know, how this is going to work out, because like Bernard Hopkins says, the ring is a lie detector test. And this is how we're going to really find out if Maul should still be doing this. This is a big test. He's undefeated still. This is not the one who for people that can't distinguish him, this is not the one who went undisputed. But he is a 2-division champ. You know what I'm saying? And he is a formidable opponent in that boxing ring. You know what I'm saying? He made Dennis Hogan do a back tumble. I've never seen nobody do that. Yeah, like, check him out, man. You look and see what he did to Julius J. Rock Williams. The same thing Jermell pretty much did to Erickson Lubin, man. And they prime. And Maul, he still got a chip on his shoulder. I think he's a little bit different. Life has, you know, conditioned him to be the way he is right now, shall I say. So I'm interested in that fight. I got my fingers crossed. I hope that gets across the line, and may the boxing gods be with that fight, man, because that is a great scrap, especially at the co-main. That's going to be some fireworks right there. Number 2 is Fabio Wardley silently taking over the heavyweight division. And what you mean, Mike? If you listen, I'm going to tell you, right? Chopping it up with AC, man. We got to thinking, and through process elimination, we both was thinking that Wardley is he's not the first name that everybody's talking about, but when you look at the resume and how he's doing things and how he's, you know, he might have been, you know, outskilled in a lot of these fights, but he's been learning on the job. He's not taking the easy route. He's been taking the stairs. When you look at this whole maneuver what Usyk just did, where he said, no, if Joseph Parker would have won, yeah, I would have took that fight. But since it's Wardley, you can have my belt. Like anybody else would have got crucified. But since he was the undisputed champion, a lot of people use one of their 10 slots on the pound for pound. They put Usyk number 1. I'm not gonna argue with him, even though heavyweights are my +1 on my pound for pound. But with Usyk making that move, Fabio Wardley was like, listen, man, I mean, I respect what he's done. It's just uncharacteristic for him to move like that. Same thing, I second that same sentiment. Well, I'm like, that's just not Usyk, right? But Usyk got his eyes on something. They saying that he's not speaking highly of wanting to get in the ring with the Tom or Eva. So, you know, we kind of got to be balanced. So he's not just being, but the point of it is Fabio Wardley was the guy who was going to get that strap. And, you know, when everybody say, because most of the time on the business side, a lot of people be saying, well, why didn't he just put himself in that position to make him do it? Well, Wardley actually put himself in the position to make him do it, either or get off the pot. You know what I'm saying? And he wound up getting off the pot and gave that up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is what it is. You know, that's just the facts of the matter. Regardless if you think I like Usyk or don't, whatever, that's irrelevant. Fabio Wardley is looking like he's taking over. It's looking like, man, I'm not going to say he's like Wilder because I think he did have more skills than Wilder. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he was as raw as Wilder. But in the aspect of being able to change the complexion of a fight with one punch, you know, yeah. I think Wilder, he has a nuclear bomb in his right hand. I think that Fabio Wardley got like a landmine. Meaning that, yeah, you could do all that boxing shit, but once I land mine, you gonna know something, buddy. Ask Joseph Parker. With an adverse, he was on that cocaine, they say, you know, allegedly. So, nobody really talks about that either. But I'm thinking that, yeah, I think that when the best guy up at heavyweight say, nah, I think I'm gonna go have some fun over here with this guy. You know, have at the belt. You know what I'm saying? It's like, ooh. And then we hearing, you know, whispers of him wanting to get back to Tyson Fury. But Tyson Fury being tied with AJ, it's just a couple things going on. Adji Caballero think that Usyk don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Kind of think that he's like maneuvering around him. I'm like, dang, heavy is the head, I know. But the heavyweight division is creeping up, man. It's not back in its glory days when we were looking at Evander and Tyson and Lennox. We not quite there yet. I would say we about 6.5, creeping up on a 7, if that was a 10. You know what I'm saying? We're getting there though, because for years it was down at a 4, 4.5, maybe a 5. But we are getting up there to where we actually have, it's not to our favor. And this is why it's not a popular subject right now. You don't hear a lot of heavyweight conversations. Why? Because we are suffering for a U.S. heavyweight. And everybody who we think has potential, I mean, maybe Efe Ajagba might be leading it. He might be leading the race. Maybe some people that's hitching their trailer to the wagon of Torres. You know, I mean, I thought Frank Sanchez was going to, you know, but looking like he got that knee, and, you know, knees and boxing and, you know, hurt knees and boxing don't mix, you know, but we got our eyes on Fabio Wardley, and I'm just wondering, is he silently taking over? Have you been paying attention to what's going on in the heavyweight? Can you remain unbiased? Say, listen, man, if I had to go out and talk about this heavyweight stuff, have I been paying enough attention to have a good, honest conversation? You know what I'm saying? And not just picking and choosing who I like and who I don't. Fabio Wardley has a very big test in Daniel Dubois. I heard somebody say, a coach say, that Daniel Dubois is all wrong for Fabio Wardley. I said, that's an interesting take. You know, because I believe that it is going to be the best beard contest. But by default, I think Fabio Wardley got a better beard than Dubois. Now, Dubois can crack, but I think if it comes down to who got the better chin, give it over to Wardley. Just throw it in the bag for Wardley. But he hasn't been touched by Dubois. Dubois has some exceptionally, when he chooses to go to the body, and when he's confident and fluid and all that, he can shock you. I mean, he has flashes of brilliance to where he was the dark horse for a minute. The Sasquatch was Frank Sanchez, and both of them got devastated. So it looked like Fabio Wardley is the guy that kind of got the heavyweight division on notice, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Say my name if you want to. And I'm gonna do you something dirty, something bad. So that's my praise for Fabio Wardley, man. And I like it. I like the kind of guy he is. He didn't cut cards when he won. He said, ooh, said he called the man out. He didn't make his fans go through, you know, debate school to be able to defend what he said when he got after he won. No, he was very clear. He said the name, who he wanted, and he wound up getting the strap, not in the ring, just because he was like, here, go ahead and have it. How you love that? That's Fabio Wardley. The last one, y'all. It's a sad truth, man. I've been coming around and saying, listen, man, you kind of got to relax. You got to take some steam off of how you feel about how some of these camps feel, because it's just like in anything, little tribes. You just replace camps with tribes. If you look at it like that, like if you use the same mind that you have when you're outside of boxing talk, if you bring that same critically thinking mind over into the sport and you judge it accordingly, then you'll look at it like, okay, that's a tribe. That tribe up there in the Northeast, that tribe over there on the West Coast, that tribe is from the South, that tribe is from the Midwest. Like, they're all tribes. And what I've come to realize is that some tribes are just permanently compromised. Like, if they have an affiliation, or if it's somebody that might be a potential fight or something, you are never going, from some of these camps, it's up to you all to figure it out. It's up to you all to figure out who it is. That's not my place. But in my quest to be able to listen to other people and listen to the camps and try to see if I can get anything, you know, if I be looking for like a couple little nutritional nuggets, like something that got some nutrition in it, and I never find it when it comes to certain fighters in their opposition. So you never really want to get the unbiasedness. What you got to do is eat the fish and spit out the bones. And you kind of got to pick and choose what you decide to go by when it comes down to that camp. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating because, for the most part, they all know what they're talking about and all that. It's just that they're wrong just like us at times. They don't get the backlash because they're actually in the business. I even heard that, man, if you ever never laced them up, you shouldn't even be talking. I'm like, well, dang, that would take out Al Bernstein. Take out, like, I could go all the way down the list, like take out old whack ass Max Kellerman, take out old, like all these people that be having these hot takes and got all these footholds in boxing that everybody respect and they show their tonsils for in praise. Take them all out the game. Because if we ain't never laced them up and we can't talk about boxing, then, I mean, shit, I'm not going to respect nothing nobody say who ain't, like, that means that everything, think about that. That means everything that will be going on in boxing. Oh, man, if you ain't never been, you don't know the angle. So the cameraman, if he ain't never laced them up, the cameraman shouldn't be. Like, y'all know how dumb that sound? Stephen A. Smith is one of the most popular people when it comes to sports. He talk about all of them. He played a little bit of basketball, but what? He ain't got a right to say nothing about, like, y'all sound dumb as hell. And what that really means is that's a checkmate. And you compromise. That just means that if somebody out here online that's getting up under your skin, they pushing your shit back, and you don't like that. You know how when you get hit to the body, and they be like, oh, he didn't like that. Like, oh, he don't like it to the body. Yeah, well, I'm talking that shit. Like, y'all don't like it to the body. So y'all resort to just being catty and shit. And when it comes down to, like, being honest, I'm talking about, this don't even have to be like, this can be this tribe versus 2 other tribes, or 2 other, like, this could be 3 tribes. This one tribe, if they have to speak on it and they're asked an honest assessment, they are never going to give you the truth. If the guy on the other end is from an opposite tribe, like, if he's not affiliated, it's crazy, because you'll have 2 people that will be preparing to fight, right? And depending on, I know my guy, he'll talk some shit to you, but he'll tell you exactly what the guy has and what he's going to do and oh yeah, but I gotta be careful. I can't do this. I can't. He gives the respect. It's crazy how the other cats, they don't do none of that. They can't be honest about nothing. But then again, my guy's like 93.33% knockout ratio. That means that like he has to do a fair, honest assessment. He got to know what he's dealing with. And for some reason, 93.33% of the time, he knows exactly, but he never really has to shit on his opponent. Even if they from a different tribe, which they are. He ain't fighting nobody from his own tribe. But somehow, some way, he's always able to give the other guy or the guy that he's facing, he'll always, when he's asked, the rare times when he's asked or when he's in the front of the camera, he's telling you, he'll tell you, oh man, this guy he got a left hook. You gotta watch out. I gotta be careful. Like, much respect. He'll tell you, oh man, Rolly, man, yeah, hardest puncher, man, yeah, Roddy got that, you know, that Riri strength. Like, I ain't gonna say it because I respect Roddy, but they say Rolly got that Riri. Every time he's respected the guy on the other side. These camps, they can't do it. Even if it's a glimpse, even if it's something in the air, like, you know, I could feel it in the air, I could smell it in the air, something's coming. It's like purple rain. It's something up there. They'll never be honest about the other tribe. They are permanently compromised, y'all. Like, y'all keep running y'all head into this brick wall thinking that they're not. But enjoy them for what they bring to the table. Enjoy it for what they bring to the table, but like, start doing the assessment, man, so you won't get all worked up. But that's all I had on the housekeeping, AC, man. What you got on the housekeeping, brother? J-Man, salute.
Basically,
D Calico, hold on, let me do these shout outs. I'm sorry, my bad. You was taking a pause. Hold on, let me do these shout outs real quick. D Calico, salute. Honeybee, salute. J-Man, salute. You say Bodywork be cooking and keeping it a buck. I appreciate that, J-Man. I appreciate it. But go ahead, AC. You had a natural pause, so I wanted to give a shout out to let the people know that I see him. Yeah. But go ahead.
So basically, the way I see it is Rescindi's number one, Rescindi's versus Charlo. Man, that's just one of those fights that just when you hear the two names and you look at their fighting styles, and both those guys show up, man, that's a 50-50 fight. I'm not trying to choose on who doing whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because Rescindi's pretty much came out of nowhere in two solid performances. And, you know, he captured solid points of solid portions of the boxing community. When it comes down to Charlo has always been there. So we're like, woo, okay. If, you know, yeah, we like this fight for you, Charlo. It's saying that, you know, it's still only, you know, Lions Den, because off a layoff like you had, you really don't come back and choose a Rescindi's. You know what I'm saying? That says a lot right there. And that right there screams out that Charlo's like, look, I'm still him. Fuck what y'all saying, I'm still him. You know, so I appreciate it. I have no issues with it. Like I said, it's one of those fights that I don't want to choose, but the biased part in me is gonna be rooting for Maul Charlo. That's just the biased part of me. But the boxing fan says, you know what? This is 50-50. Just enjoy the show. They both show up. This is gonna be a hell of a fight. What was number 2 again? That was Wardley, right? In the heavyweights.
That was Wardley. Wardley emerging, like silently taking over.
Yeah, like that's something that if you like a fan of Wardley and stuff like that, you've seen his moves. You've seen the fact that, you know, because he's so blue collar, it made a lot of people sleep on him. And then once they got in the ring with him, they found themselves in the middle of a war. You know what I'm saying? This dude is, you know, peanut butter sandwiches and water, straight up blue collar. It's like, yeah, I've gone, a couple of days on ramen noodles alone. So, he's showing that he's built from that cloth. Like you can easily see him in a blue collar shirt with the tie undone, sleeves rolled up and just working. Um, and what Dubois has to bring to the table, they, you know, um, he's bringing a solid resume. Dubois has pretty much faced everybody, and for Wardley, that would be a big win. So it puts him in a position, like I was saying with Body earlier, hopefully, it puts him in a position to whereas the demand, he stops Daniel Dubois, there's got to be that demand to say, all right, man, Usyk, we ain't really interested in the Wilder thing, but we'll be interested, back that whole situation up if it was you and Wardley, because right now it'll be the second time Wardley done showed out, showing what he got to do to get that fight with you, and then you kind of find yourself in the tub with the rubber ducky, and that's just not a good look for you. So moving into that fight, I'm going to be honest again. I'm a huge Fabio Wardley fan, so there will be some biasness with me. I'm hands down just picking Wardley over Dubois. I just think he just he has all the tangibles to be that type of throwback blue collar heavyweight that we've missed in boxing. I'm gonna say it like this: dudes like, let's just say if Dillian White and Derek Chisora, especially if Derek Chisora, just had more skill set, like that, people would be calling him the second coming of Chisora. Got some skills, can show at times he can box, got a beard and a half with him, and just doesn't give a fuck. He's looking to fight everybody. So for me, I can honestly see Wardley taking over the heavyweight division, being that guy. I hope D Calico comes up pops up later so we could really chop it up, because I'm kind of on a different side with Moses and Tama. I don't think it's people are scared to fight him. I think he's just being moved extremely slow. So there's a lot of space between him and Wardley. You know what I'm saying? As far as the last one, camps being compromised and things like that, we've been seeing it. We've been seeing certain camps don't want to talk about certain situations. They don't really want to talk bad about certain fighters and things like that. Between the talking points of where the media is right now, the boxing media, I'm talking legacy media and internet media, it's like to a certain degree, for the first time, they're in sync, and that's the scary part. And that's why I was saying yesterday why it's important for channels like this, because when you really look at that and say to yourself, okay, when have I really seen, when with just the exception of making a legitimate big fight or super fight or mega fight, whatever you want to say, that legacy and mainstream are like really in tow about so many different fighters, and then about certain situations. So it makes you feel like you're on two different sides, and one of the sides, they have all the hardware. They have the snipers, they have the Gatling guns. They just have the machine behind it. And you're sitting there, you know, limited ammo and all of this other kind of stuff, and you're just trying to express to people like, hey, wake up. Them and them, they're in cohesion. They're looking to muddy these things up. They're looking to gaslight you and feed you these narratives because the business is thirsty, because it's so much money involved right now. The business is thirsty to keep that money train going. So they're hiring everyone to lay down new tracks so the train can just keep going. If we just let boxing run its course, the train has to pull into a stop, refuel, and then move on again. But between the media and certain aspects of boxing, they don't want that to happen. It's like, I can't let this money slow down. Why not? You've made between fights from, let's just say 2022 to now 2026, we've got a lot of major fights that a lot of money was put on the table. A lot of money was thrown around. So let the shit reset. Let the shit catch its breath. You know, let the shit refuel. And everybody, you know, don't have to be, you know, just because they're telling you, all right, realistically, one fighter should have been, you know, made number 5 at best, pound for pound. They put him up to number 3, and then all of a sudden from number 3, he's now number 1. Why put him at number 3 then? If the talking point was going to be he's number 1. You know, so at the end of the day, there are just so many examples of where this whole thing is compromised, and we just need channels like this to just keep our steel toe boots on their neck and tell them, I dare you to fucking move, I'll snap this shit. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it, bro.
Man, that's a scary but keen observation. You said legacy media and social media. Social media are in sync. They're aligned, and that's rare, because typically when you think about legacy media, they would be more in the vein outside of the biasness for, you know, for them getting paid for what they do. Like we would be more in line with legacy, because it's like us trying to abandon or shed our old school values and how we used to see it, like how we looked at boxers as like, man, you can't be running around talking about you the best. All these people can't be. It'll be somebody. It'll be several people out there showing and proving that you ain't the best. Oh yeah, you the best. Well, fight me next week. Like, let's get it on. Like they, you know, they loved it. They would do it because they were just fighters. But like with legacy and this new boxing social media being on the same sheet of music, man, it just points to the bigger elephant in the room, where it's like, man, they say the world is a stage, and if boxing is part of the world, then are we all on the stage getting played? Or are we watching the play, or what? I mean, because, man, it's wild, man. It's like everywhere you go, you can't just, it's rare you can with the younger guys, like, you know, again, qualifying with before the silk sheets. You'll get that before the silk sheets. You'll still get some people that made a couple dollars, and they'll still, you know, you still get that vibe, like you really getting something from them, and it's not an agenda for them not to fight this person, or for them to maneuver around, or for them to try to sell you whatever it is that they want to sell you to get you off their back, or to get you in their good graces, whatever it is. But like everywhere we go, we are being flanked and pressed with, like he said, like, man, they got archers. They got archers, they got motherfucking, they got Delta Force, man. They just, you know, they got drones. It's like they doing stuff to the water. You ain't no fresh water in boxing. It's like it's very few sources, you know. And then they figure out. I've watched this. I've seen a lot of good channels that because they didn't get any support and because they just didn't just tough it out. Like, cause I know me on this channel, I done had to just tough it out. Like when I was just like, man, I love it, but like as far as being in this arena with all these other people and like having to maintain it, like it do get tough. But I've seen some very good channels who they were fresh water, they were creative, they had their own, like they spoke their mind, but because of how this business is, it chewed them up, burnt them out early. They got fatigued. They it's like I don't even see them. Like some of them, I don't even see them no more. I'm like, dang, what happened? Like, they wasn't getting the support. So like he said, man, over here we just gonna what keeps us grounded is that we just work with what the truth and what the facts are out there, and we just go around that. That way we don't really gotta change as long as we keep, whether it's ugly or not. Like what happened with Richardson Hitchens, that for me, that's like I felt like I took a hit. That's my guy. I got a couple guys like Brian Norman. I had adopted Brian Norman as one of my guys. Like when Devin did that, I took a hit. Like, but it is what it is. One was outside the ring of Richardson Hitchens, doing that IBF stuff and in that maneuver or whatever. And then the other one was a guy that I thought, was a throwback fighter. I thought he was, really, really climbing, and he still is. But he took a loss. He got knocked down by a guy who they said was Pillow Fist. He separated from his father. His father out here now talking about Devin microdosing. I mean, supporting the guys and being a voice, even with Subriel. Even though I started kind of like saying, man, Subriel, you can't fight like that. I was still a fan, still supporting him. He got knocked out. Going back to the Spence, we all take hits. We just got to keep moving forward. And as long as we're honest about what happened, I had to be honest about what happened with Earl. I had to be honest about how he looked before he got in the ring. It's not a lot of places to where it's just genuine and they just want to talk boxing just straight up, without pushing some kind of agenda. Like, the only agenda right here for us is to be like, hey, we might need to put some pressure over here because maybe if we do that, and the right people hear us, because they be listening. If the right ones hear us, maybe it might prick them to take a gander at looking at this fight, because this guy right here, this would be a good fight. This might be something that'll put your name on the map. Like, you get through this guy, you punish this dude, yeah, you're going to gain some fans because this guy is going to make you fight. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's all we can do. Just keep being honest about what we're seeing. Just keep talking straight up about this boxing talk, man, and not shying away from it, even when it's to our detriment, even when it's one of our guys or it's something stupid, or we might have been in the mess hall with our chest out about something and then somebody embarrasses. Probably like how a lot of them Keyshawn Davis fans feel. And that's not going to be the last time y'all feel that way. Trust me, because I see no change. But good one, man. That was a good point, man. That was a jewel right there, man. Let's see. Yeah, if when you get up here, D Calico, if you are gonna jump on, I would like to have some of that Itama talk, even though it might be a little premature because we might get into that, you know what I'm saying, here soon. With something separate and different for that alone. But yeah, man, come up here because we're gonna be talking. It's kind of like a loose. I did do housekeeping, but it's a loose environment type show because I'm gonna be asking questions. I do got some stuff that I can get into and present or whatever, but like I haven't really been like going to outside of the channel that I look at and check in and see, okay, who they feeding this, like where these zombies coming from. Like except for me checking out the channels where all the zombies come from, I haven't really been spreading my wings and going anywhere else. But there's a scenario right now where it appears that there's like, just like right here, like I don't know if y'all seen this one on the first one here. Let me switch up something real quick. Let me switch it up real quick. Okay, this was the first one. the fucker's a duck. So you had Richardson Hitchens, because he won. He had beat T.O. He had been calling out for Devin. He wanted T.O. and T.O. got in the ring. Another example of somebody getting in the ring after a fight and we're not getting a fight. He said F the Haneys, and he had been calling for Haneys. Well, when Haney and Brian Norman was getting ready to get it on, he was like, I want the winner. It shocked me. I didn't even know Hitchens and Norman had history. And, you know, if you've been watching or listening, or if you don't know, I always say that Devin and Richardson Hitchens are like two different sides of the same coin. I think Devin, he's had more opportunities. He came in and went down to 35. Richardson Hitchens came in at 40 and maintained, never fought somebody with an upside down record. He didn't really have a lot of the things that Devin Haney had behind him. Stylistically, they're both pure boxers. I do think that Devin goes to the body a little bit more than Richardson Hitchens, but I think Richardson Hitchens is a little more coordinated and he's more of a finisher. You know, he did stop Kambosos to the body, which people don't give him credit for, but he wanted Haney. So he was looking at moving up. It was either T.O. or Haney. Shakur wound up getting that fight. At the same time, you had this thing where Keyshawn secretly got it out for Richardson Hitchens, and you're like, well, how does that work? Because, you know, Keyshawn and Shakur, they're like joined at the hip, and they treat Richardson Hitchens like the red-headed stepchild. You know, I don't understand what that relationship is about. He kind of said that he don't, like Richardson Hitchens said, he don't know where this thing came from, where Keyshawn don't like him. I'm like, I don't know. Because Keyshawn got a whole band of brothers himself. He got DB3 with Kelvin and Keon. So I don't get it, but like they got a thing. So it was rumored that they were going to fight. Couldn't come to an agreement. You know, some say money, you know, but it was, to me, it was looking like it was a plan where they pretty much knew if Keyshawn was in his right state of mind, he was going to get a shot. Because the business of boxing says that he has the greatest potential to, you know, to be a star. Because he can put butts in seats. He has an exciting style. He talks stuff. He's a ham for the cam. You know, they had their thing going on. There's a big split, a divide between Keyshawn and Shakur. I came to a realization that that's never going to happen. I've been said, don't ask. That's Batman and Robin, Wally Cat. But moving on, you got Oshaquie, who has been relentlessly pursuing Shakur. And yes, they shared the same division. Just like Shakur and Mr. Gary Russell Jr. shared the same division. Never fought. But Oshaquie has been pursuing Shakur, thinking that, okay, if I go ahead and I put belt to ass on Stephen Fulton, then I'm going to be in the catbird seat to get a Shakur. Well, because of Fulton's blunder, they made it for the 135 interim strap. Shakur says, I'm not going to fight him, you know, but Oshaquie says, look, I'll pay you bread, you know, for your fees. I get you reinstated as champ. I sent an offer. Like the B-side sent an offer. You can do it. We can do it in Houston. But you got to see me. This was already cleared through the WBC. And people say, oh, because beforehand he said he was going to drop his strap. Shakur being said he was going to go to 40, drop his, you know, he was going to go to 40 and then drop it and then, you know, let Keyshawn have it, even though it don't work like that. And then go back down to 35. And I asked, well, was he really mad? Because by not paying the fee, you know, they was going to make you drop the strap, or you relieve the strap, or you left the strap with $20 on the side of the dresser. However you want to church it up, you let it go. Why? Because if you were to ever go back down there, like in that line, that WBC line, the button was going to be pushed and the WBC was going to be like, yep, you're going to see where these fights get ordered. That don't mean it's going to get across the line, but they were definitely going to order it. Oshaquie said, oh, he ain't going to fight me. I'm going to go back down to 130 then, wait for the winner of Navarrete and Nunez. It wound up being Navarrete. Suarez is in the mix. Also, you had Kakesi and Jazza Dickens, who just fought, and Kakesi just put on a nice little clinic. double down, you know what I'm saying, with the ones and twos on Jazza Dickens, you know, and to get a strap, the WBA. So he still wants Shakur. And then here comes the, I guess, baby bro. I guess you could call him baby bro. The one that was knee high to a June bug, like the little baby bro. I don't know, they all like the same age. I don't know how the hierarchy worked. You know, so I knew when dogs in the pack, you know, a leader is going to establish themselves somehow, some way. I know that, but here come Ray Ford, being the little baby fullback for Shakur, you know, guarding his 6. Now he wants to get it on with Oshaquie. I'm like, and Oshaquie like, I just want pops. Yeah, I deal with some, but I just want pops. Like, I don't want all that friendly stuff. I just want to beat you up. So we were looking at all this and we were like, man, what the fuck is a duck? I'm like, because I don't know, depending on what you like, things that Tank was doing, people would say, oh man, he's maneuvering, he's doing this. Like now Shakur wants to do that and he's using these things to not make certain fights. And then like just to, I don't want to fight him because I do something to him outside. Like, listen, y'all. He said, I'll do something to him outside the ring, but I don't want to get in the ring with somebody like that. Like, I was like, man, was this 2026, 2025? I don't know. Either way, it sounds real strange. But that was one. That was part 1. This is part 2. I agree. Yeah, I agree. The fuckers a duck, and so we looking. We got the feather under the microscope. You know what I'm saying? We got the light on it. You know what I'm saying? We trying to see what fucking species this is. Like, what the fuck are we looking at? Like here, like. So that's what we really want to know, man, going on. And this is more like a pause type thing, to where I got how I feel about it justified with facts and data and information. I know AC got plenty, you know what I'm saying, in the holster. You know, I don't know how many guns and weapons he got on him. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But like, if you have something to say or chime in about any of these things, then let us know, because we're really trying to define what the fuck is a duck. Now, we established that it was like seven different types, like that we have terms for, right? That we can put up imagery and cite definitions and do all of that. So we'll tell you exactly what kind of duck it is. But we just gonna have a general conversation about these guys, man, and you know, and speak on it. What you got, AC?
Well, for me, I was gonna hone in on this because it caused some tension between me and several individuals, and you know, sometimes you just go back and look at certain things and say to yourself, okay, was it me? Was I missing something? Did I jump the gun on something? So it made me go back when I'm thinking, all right, so if Oshaquie is looking to do this thing with the WBC, right? And the WBC gets on board with it. And then it was stated to me that the WBC did it. And it was the same day when I think Bills came up here and he was like, no, it's just their natural hate for Shakur. And I found that I was like, I hear what you're saying, but something about that statement is a little bit off. And it just took me a little while to come up with it. And as we did the Business of Boxing episode, you said a point that just brought everything together for me. And for me, it was through the sanctioning bodies, right? And it made me just realize something. How did Shakur Stevenson get the WBC belt at 135 pounds? He came up to the 135-pound division after losing his belts on the scale. He had no hardware, but Devin put out an offer, allegedly. And I'm just going to say these things allegedly. Devin supposedly had put out an offer. Shakur refused, said the thing about his lawyer and all of this other stuff. And then everyone who was within the Shakur camp and the Shakur fam was like, yeah. Shakur then did what they were quoting as him doing what he was supposed to do by going to the WBC. He was actually the WBO champ, prior to that. So with the WBC, he went to the WBC because if I remember the rules, the WBC had the highest percentage for a challenger to the champion. So you go to the WBC asking the WBC to mandate that fight between you and Devin. The WBC says you're a star, you got a name, you got, some respectable boxers behind you and stuff like that. So we'll grant you that favor. We'll mandate that fight. Fight gets mandated. There's the talks about what's going on. Devin gonna duck, yada, yada, yada. Devin goes up to 140 to face Regis. People were saying Devin ducked out of that fight after Shakur did what he was supposed to do with the WBC to mandate that fight. In that situation, you had no problem asking the WBC to lean in your favor, do you a solid. And then when you wanted to fight Tio, you asked the WBC to do you a solid again. And the minute they do you 2 solids back to back that got you to a 2-division champion, you turned around and told them, fuck you, fuck your $120,000. And now we're talking about Oshaki saying that I'll give you that money back. I'll give you that money back. I'll pay that for you. All you gotta do is fight me. But you say, no, I don't want to fight him because I don't like the way he talk. But I'll fight which the ring has ranked as the number 2 guy. I'll go and fight him for a ring belt if Ring will put that up. I won't see none of the other guys, but I'll fight Morataya for the ring belt if Ring will make that fight happen. So when you talk about ducks and what the fuck is really a duck, what is that right there, people? You told everybody you were going up there, get that strap, you're going back down because you're a 35-pounder. Old boy standing next to you, pointing at you like, look at this clown. You don't want to fight him because you don't like the way he talks. But you want to fight Zepeda because Zepeda's number 2, and then you're asking the ring to do you a solid and automatically make that for another ring championship. Bro, when have we seen some shit like that in boxing? If that's not the biggest duck in boxing today, like you're not, like, come on, man. You can't sit there and tell me about Canelo and Benavidez, not when that's right there. And you said this is your division. Now you want Oshak to fight Raymond Ford. You want to try to throw Raymond Ford in the way. You want to try to throw that person in the way. And it's just like, bro, you don't really understand how bad you look. At least the other 2 guys in that scenario, they may move funny, but at the end of the day, they give us names that we're like, I can live with that. I can live with that. Your names have to be expressed, explained, and excused. Oh, who was he gonna fight? There was nobody to fight him. Well, there's this guy right there that said he'll fight him. There was the other guys that were calling him out. There's a 140-pounder up there that called him out and called him a bitch. So what do you mean? Again, you're excusing the dude's actions, not demanding like Gary gotta fight somebody. Hitchens gotta fight somebody. Dalton Smith gotta fight somebody. But Shakur, he could do what he wants. What? And you gonna tell me a dude that hasn't done things like that, hasn't faced a, you know, Tank, hasn't faced a Hirioka or nobody extremely dangerous when they're extremely dangerous. He's now the best boxer in boxing. You got to prove that to me, bro. I'm not the person to just sit there and accept it. You really got to prove that shit to me. So when he ready to prove that shit to me, I'm willing to tune in. I'll be watching. Depending on the scenario, I might be rooting for you. You know what I'm saying? I might be sitting there watching it because I'm like, okay, this is the fight I'm asking for. Show me what you got, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, man, that was man. That's, I don't know, man. You don't want to get caught with that, man. You might have to go throw that piece in the river, man, because that was a cold piece, man. Like, this man literally went, because I remember all the people that was belly aching, mate, about how he went. How you gonna go to the station, by like they was acting like it was just disrespectful. Like, how you gonna sit up there? Like, he went and sued the man. Like, he went to the station and body, bro. And they was getting ready to dictate, you know, what it was gonna be. And that's not even the first time he did that. That's because, remember, let's go back to the Jamel Herring situation when he raked that man over the coals, when he went back and had them reevaluate, and that's when they came out and clarified that, okay, in certain instances, like basically where there's a big disparity in the wages, it's like when you in a mandatory position, it's like, as the one that's getting the smaller share of the pie, it could be that, or they can average your last 3 paydays and give you and guarantee there's going to be something comparable to that. Because if you really killing somebody, like if you happen to just fall in the mandatory spot, but you've been making more bread than them, then it's to your disadvantage. Even though it's to your advantage to get the strap, it's to your disadvantage because they are the champ. So that's when they did that. And he did that to his man. His man's wife was so hot. Like, I'm like, man, his wife at the time, man, she was a cold one, man, because she was the only one. Like, I'm like, all these people ain't saying nothing about this. She was the only one that was speaking up about it when he was doing that friend stuff. Because they was friends and all that. And then he turned and was just like, yeah. And then he went crud. And then, like, he just, no mercy. No, like he had a switch. I thought he had a switch after that. But that he's very familiar with going to these. That's why I say, man, you brought it back out, because I used to really be on that side campaigning and pushing for certain things and fly swatting certain things away, and then it just got to the point to where it's like, nah, man, now I can't defend this, I can't defend that. Up, that's the third time I can't defend. Okay, I'm off. Yeah, and that's how I've been. But he's familiar with going to the sanctioning bodies to get them to levy whatever it is, which is proof of what we did on the business of boxing, where it's like all the things that the sanctioning bodies do, man, when it came down to contracts, when it came down to rankings, the fact that you were being put in a position after you blew weight. Yeah. You bullied that man and he still took the fight. You bullied that man. So that's an unfair assessment. If they say that the assessment with Ryan versus Devin was unfair because of the overweight, it's just so many, things that they don't apply. Like in science, most, formulas and variables in the formulas, they apply. But like with this one guy, they don't.
Yeah. And for me, it's more of just saying, look, man, I'm not even going to try to front. I was one of the people at the time. My knee-jerk reaction was, oh, this bitch-ass dude, you done ran to mommy and daddy. You went to the sanctioning bodies like that's mommy and daddy to order the fight. Yo, bitch-ass said he was easy. You told everybody, watch how easy I beat his ass. He easy. So that was my issue of why he went why I was belly aching about him going to the sanctioning body. To whereas I'm the only one on a 9-member panel, you know what I'm saying, that's arguing from a seated position, not a kneel position, saying, listen, bro, the man said he was easy, so that says it all to me. I'm not gonna say somebody easy one night and then that Monday I'm running to the sanctioning body saying you gotta force this fight because they trying to pay me this percentage for an undisputed fight with lineal on the line. So I'm gonna go specifically to you because remember, I took that belt from Oscar Valdez. I won that belt from Oscar Valdez. And he was a Mexican just like y'all. So give me mine right now. And you just look at the dude like, you a real crybaby, bro. You a real crybaby. You know what I'm saying? You baby boy. You come in the crib where the dude just came from home and mom's got her door cracked and he just bouncing around, picking her up like, and you just sit there like, oh man, now I gotta go over this girl house. So I'm just like, bro, stop being baby boy and just be a grown ass man, dude. Just, you know, and the fans of his, just stop. I see who he is, and at the end of the day, like I just said, you give me that fight that I'm looking for from you, I might just root for you, bro. You might have a fan rooting for you because I'm gonna be like, finally, man, I gotta respect you on that level. You going after a tough fucking fight when the dude is just on his tear. Devin did that with Brian after he did it with Brian Norman after 2 shaky ass performances. After a loss that he got nullified, and then off a shaky, what's the name? But we heard about it and was like, whoa, gotta give him his respect. Gotta give him his respect. Because this kid is coming into his own. He's right there, and you just saying, you know what, I'm gonna get him right now. Because if we let him get him too developed, I don't know if I could beat him. So you did the Floyd Mayweather going after young Canelo type thing. So I got to give you respect on that. Shakur, when you do something like that, like I said, I might just root for you, bro. But right now, you go in that category for me of ducking. You're ducking OshaquieFoster. Period.
Man. You just made somebody punch their damn side view mirror off, man. But 18, he just fought T.O. He was pound for pound. You know, it's just like, wow. Mm-hmm. Salute Aaron Jones. I know you got something on this, Aaron Jones. I know you got something on this, my man. But yeah, I just outside of just laying the facts down on Shakur, man, it's like talking to a brick wall, man, right now with how inundated people are with what people saying on YouTube about it and how legacy media is just tooting that thing up for them. They just running amok. Oh, we're talking about this is the fuck is a duck part 2. You know what I'm saying? We doing the fuck is a duck part 2. And we just really dealt with like the first little piece. Be over here on the far left. We just classified and just, man, dropped bombs about how this man had used the sanctioning body, very familiar with the sanctioning bodies and the benefits of paying those fees. See, those fees that he had been paying that we never heard any belly aching about, you know, in the first 3 divisions, never heard nothing about nothing, never, ever. Not from him. Maybe Tank, but Tank was getting to the bag. But I digress. Once this man start getting to the bag, it's different. Now the sanctioning bodies ain't vouch. But the sanctioning bodies got you to rake Jamel Herring over the coals. You know, they gave you a shot after you blew weight and then jumped up another division. Like, they've done a lot. You know what I'm saying? They was getting ready. They got you in a position to where you was the guy to go on to fight for the vacant strap, because in essence, y'all like got them to make, because that's what, you know, you can speak on that, but that's what Devin fans were saying, that, oh man, he ain't gonna do that. Why would he do that? Like, come on, man. You ain't gonna make him, he the champ. So they kind of justified, like, okay, well, cool, he going up. And what I justified it was the better move, which was going up and fighting Regis, you know, which was established. I'm like, okay, so you about to do some Bud versus Jeff Horn type stuff. Okay. So that's what kind of, you know, helped me out on it. But we just talked about that first piece between Oshaquie and Shakur and went back into Shakur and the offer that Oshaquie made. We haven't even got into what's going on with Shakur and Ryan, because I got a huge example. What'd he say? Yeah, everybody's saying Shakur beats Tank now. No 50-50. They saying Tank can't do anything with him. Oh, it's a lot of ducks. I think this the age of ducks to get legacy. Word. Yeah, I can't even, it don't even compute, man. It don't even compute, because I've seen people turning the tides now. I just seen Tim Bradley come out, last week before last, coming out, basically saying he wish he could jump inside a Tank body. And I'm not a pause guy, but that's a pause worthy moment, in my opinion. I'm just now seeing Roy Jones. He circling back. I'm like, why y'all gotta do that? Like, so when I see Hall of Famers talking like that and saying stuff where you on wax, I got something from, I got a clip. It's in my videos though. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say it's a stake in the ground with this. But I got a clip with Tim Bradley basically told everybody down there that they didn't want to fuck with Tank. He said he can do everything. So I don't know how he went from he can do everything, and you fast forward 3 years at 2026, and now he can't do nothing with, like, come on, man. So when I see and hear Hall of Famers going through that, they go in one ear and go out the other. My blood pressure, I swear, I got a Fitbit. I got a little watch. I swear my blood pressure don't rise not one bit, because it's foolishness. That's why I'm getting to. It's a safety mechanism for me, man. It's a coping mechanism. You know, I don't even let it. But let me get into this. Shakur and Ryan, right? Now, I remember when Jamal Charlo was flirting with the idea of fighting David Benavidez, because Jamal Charlo had went on Mike Tyson podcast, and he was like, you know, say the names. You know, and he was like, the Mexican monster, you know, that was Mike telling him. And I think something was kind of trying to be worked out and all this, but Jamal Charlo came out. And was just like, he said something like he got to take a COVID test. He got to get a COVID shot. He got to come down to my division, because he said a lot of things that didn't really like make, you know what I'm saying, us Mal Charlo fans like look good. You know what I'm saying? It was a little like, you know, some of them, I've been in positions like that with Tank where I heard somebody, you know, and as a fan, I hear some people say stuff and I'm just like, and they don't kind of, you know, ixnay on the mix, you know what I'm saying? So everybody roasted him. Now my stance was like, okay, listen, that's if Mal Charlo moves up, because they was a division apart, right? So I was saying, okay, he's at 60. Mal wasn't at 68. You know, Benavidez was at 68. He's been there. Mal wasn't there yet. So I said, first of all, it gotta be realistic. Like, if they in the same, I understand they, you know, they jaw jacking back and forth. But I was like, man, let's not read too much into that, because until he get in the division and all that, I was like, can you duck somebody when you're in the lower division and y'all going at it? Like, you know, who, like, when it comes down to the offer and all that, are they just talking? Are they building the fight? You know, is it this in demand right now? Because people were still people have been wanting, Canelo had already ducked Maul. He already ducked both. He ducked Andrade. He ducked all, Canelo had already moved funny. Benavidez was still on his tail. Morrell was still on his tail, but Morrell was chasing after Benavidez too. So that was my stance back then. So I'm looking at this. I'm fast forwarding over now to this Shakur and this Ryan. Like, Shakur was at Ryan fight, and besides talking about Ryan or whatever fighter was in the ring, it kept being that, and then they would span back to Shakur and get his take and his whatever, you know what I'm saying? It was like the Shakur, and then Bud was running through the building and all that. But they was going at it, and then all of a sudden after that, there was this element where it was like all of a sudden people were clamoring for Shakur and Ryan. I'm like, what? He just went to the hottest division, Shakur being, and took the strap from the most tenured champion in T.O. And y'all talking about him fighting Ryan, where like the biggest fight was with Devin and Ryan. And I got you. You on here, Calico. I'm just gonna wrap this up real quick. But I was like, the big fight is between Devin and Ryan. That's game 8. Like that, and that's a unification. Like, that's the big one. Like, where's the Shakur? Like, for what? And then y'all want Ryan when he just now finally established himself after all the ridicule. He finally got off the pot and was successful and did it in dominating fashion. And now y'all want to talk about Shakur. Now Shakur want all these concessions, catch weight, rehydration, all that. Like, all the things that all the Shakur fans used to crucify Tank for. And it was, those scenarios was not even the same. That's the crazy part. The scenarios weren't the same. But now that was okay. And so now you had this thing where it was almost like the secret A-side little concept kept rearing this little ugly head, like, to where it's like one party is claiming that the other party don't realize that they're not the A-side. And I'm like, I don't think neither one of them do. Except for, I think Ryan has more say, because for some reason he gets, like, Ryan on that card up there in New York, when he lost, he was the guy. Like, that the card was really based around. You think about it. But that was the thing between Shakur and Ryan, and I was kind of questioning, like, okay, all these crazy terms, weird terms. You say skills pay the bills, and then after the fight, you said that the man wasn't that big. Well, you ain't that big, but then it's like, oh, but yeah, we fight, it's gonna be this, and it's gonna be the same for Devin. And this is where D Calico at, because we could talk about the dynamic between Ryan and Devin, but like, we can cook on it all. But that's the outline of it all right there. What's going on, D Calico?
Peace. What's going on?
Salute.
Yeah, man.
Salute.
Y'all already know, man. Like, I guess it's getting sticky, you know? Like, all of a sudden, they throwing Teofimo in the mix, you know? Like, guys getting smart. Like, I ain't gonna lie, like, them Latinos, I ain't gonna say they smarter than the blacks, but they smarter than the coons. You feel me? Like, when you look at the Shakurs and the Keishans, how they, we won't fight each other. That's my brother, you know? But then you got people that really look at each other like brothers, like Teofimo and Ryan and Rolly. And all three of them motherfuckers probably gonna end up fighting each other. You know what I mean? It's a different dynamic. It's me putting money on your plate, on your table. You feel me? Instead of just talking a good game. It's like, man, I wish the best for you, bro. You know, I hope you come up. Man, I hope you get that big fight one day. Man, nigga, you the big fight. You know what I'm saying? I need that today. You feel me? If you love my daughter, then you gonna get me in the ring and give me some million. We're gonna make these millions. You feel me? So that's what it seemed like Ryan and T.O. doing. Like, it's almost a duck move, but it's also a good move, you know, for them and theirs. You know, but to me, it's a duck move because they know that they aren't a threat. So they might as well, you know, get in the ring together because everything should be good at the end of the day. Nobody's really gonna get hurt. You know, they just gonna have a good time making a couple million. You know, but then you got the brothers that can't get in the ring and do the same thing. You can't even get Haney and Shakur to get in the ring. You can't get Haney and Keyshawn. Man.
Dang.
You know, it's just sad. And then we got the sorest loser I ever seen in boxing, Mr. Brian Norman Sr.
Oh man, yeah.
I've never seen a guy like this, man. Like I think we would all agree that Haney is the most adamant about testing. Probably the most tested man in boxing, like they say. This man say the man microdose. You feel me? It's just always, man, bro, that's just a sore loser if I never seen one. You feel me? Like this guy ain't he ain't got no chill, man. You know, and obviously no merit. But I don't know, man. I don't even know if we're gonna get what we want this year, man. It seemed like one of them years where they trying to tease us. You feel me? I don't think not one of these big fights will get made this year. I'm calling it. You know, especially if Haney and Rolly don't fall through. If they end up backing out of that, yeah, we can hang it up. This is just gonna be one of them years that everything is a big bluff. You know, I hope not.
I hope not either, man. That's not good. That's no bueno, man. But you know, with the Brian Norman, that's a good point, man. With the senior thing, I rock with senior, but like, man, like for junior, man, it's like the optics and the timing, and it's like I couldn't stand. I didn't like it when a certain camp that I actually liked, you know, they came out when Fundora did what he did. They came out with Fundora and started talking that glove stuff. I said, man, if you sit there and let somebody like Fundora punch you unencumbered 17 times in your fucking grill, what you think you gonna look like, man? They were talking about you gotta check his glove. I said, man, stop that. I said, because if somebody would say that about our guy, y'all would piss a fit, man. Like y'all don't do that, y'all. So I don't like that on no stuff. But the timing, and then like it's clear it was a riff, and then the things he said right after this was like, man, Brian don't need that, man. He don't need that, man. You know how this business, you was a pro. You know how this business works. It's like sabotage, like a little bit. It's like, because I do have the questions, like there is the whole snack stuff and all of that, you know what I mean? Yeah, but like if I look at it in the vacuum, the way I'm looking at it, like looking at it solely from Brian Jr. perspective, it's not a good look, and it's bad timing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's why for me it's like, you know, like, bruh, I'm just highly disappointed in that, because the dynamic that was there between you and your son doesn't deserve that type of energy after the fact. You know what I'm saying? And it lends everything legit in Calico's criticism that right now you're acting like the biggest sore loser in boxing. You know what I'm saying? So Devin won. Follow your son's advice, because he said y'all got out of character. So if that's the case, it is what it is. Y'all got out of character. We called it wrong. We were calling it like you're inside of Devin's head because X, Y, and Z. But slowly but surely, Devin showed that no, they fell into my trap. So if that's how he wants to classify it, fine. Your son's performance, people can criticize that performance. They have every right to. But your son owned up to his bad performance, and at the end of the day, all y'all just need to move on. Your son is moving on. For you, just move on and just be like, you know what, I support him. So this is his new decision. I think it's good for him. I support him in that, to see what the next level machine looks like. you know. So I'm not trying to be Joe Jackson to my son. I'm just trying to, support him in his career. You've seen other father-son dynamics separate, and then they came back together, and look at the performance. One of Ryan Garcia's best performances in his career outside of the nullification of the Devin Haney fight is the Barbosa fight. And who did he go back to? He went back to his father. His father was in his corner, and together they put something together that got his son his first belt. You were there, B Norm, when you got your son his first belt. After that, he's a champ. He's a professional. If the professional wants to make business decisions that change things up and change the dynamic and say, look, I need these parts because in these areas I'm vulnerable. I need a CPA. I need, someone to put me on how to go public with my company and my brand, and someone who's a branding specialist and marketing analysis and shit like that. I need all of that stuff if I want to take, my $100,000 company to $1 million company to $1 billion company. So respect your son's decision and the fact that you raised him in boxing. He's making solid boxing decisions, and leave it at that. What up, AJ?
What's up, y'all, man?
Yo. Salute, AJ. Salute.
Yeah, bro, speak on that real quick. Yeah, man, that's a clear example of somebody who's trying to live vicariously.
You. All right.
I'm messing up.
Yeah, you good. You clear now. Yeah, you clear now.
Oh, all right. I don't know what's going on with this phone, but yeah. That fight been a long time ago, man. Like, come on, bro. Like, you trying to live through your son at this point, because now I feel like you lost. You could tell. You can still hear me clear?
Yeah.
All right,
you good?
You could tell that he was waiting to say something. That's why he stayed off the internet for a while. He ain't want, but you could clearly see he was waiting to say something. You know what? That's just how boxing goes, man. Like, I ain't want Earl to lose. Hey, but it happened. You feel me? Like, I could say anything about Terrence Crawford, but Earl got his ass in there and whipped his ass, bro. Like, that's just how it goes. Like, take that shit on the chin. No Diddy. And yeah, like, that's how it goes. And the piggyback and the backtrack off of, what the F is a duck. Man, if you want to be technically speaking, I think all these fighters want to be ducks because they trying to use the money and the A side. Everybody want to be the A side and use the money and certain like, little tactics to their expense, like the sanctioning body, the A side, the network. They using all that, like, now, like, as we speak. Like, bro, we watch Shakur don't need to do interviews, or he need like a PR, because he contradicts himself in live and interviews. How you want to say, you don't want to fight Oshaquie because he disrespected you, but you want the Tank fight, but he disrespected you and this, that, and the third, and you don't like that, but you would fight him. Yeah, you know what's up, bro. You know what? It's an L, in my opinion. This is my opinion until you prove me wrong. It's an L waiting for that Oshaquie. I ain't gonna lie, bro, because not even that Shakur not like that. It's just like a hidden gem, like a dark horse in a race. That's how boxing works. See, I'm not old enough, but I know back in the day, that's how boxing worked. Like, you would get these fighters that nobody talking about to come along and beat the guy who they say is the guy. you know, that's how it worked. Like nobody knew about Lamont until he got a draw with Tank. Notice I said draw, but
Right.
they count that as a loss for Tank because they count and this is the idiotic stuff I hear on the internet. Yesterday I'm on the panel with the TikTok guys, and I had to delete them off my For You page because they was talking madness. Like I can't understand it, but they was saying how Shakur they was saying Shakur don't need to change anything when he's fighting a guy like Oshaki or Tank. They say he could do what he regularly do and he could come out victorious. And I'm like, well, damn, that means what is a great anymore? Y'all redefine a great all in 1 year with this one win. Now you only need a fighter, a great fighter, only needs a jab now, bro. He only needs a jab and he only needs to step back and keep the distance. That's a great fighter these days. And it's sad, bro. Like, bro, y'all can't be this much of a recency biased person, bro. Like, this man is ducking Oshaki. Don't forget Tank. He ducking Oshaki. That could be a fight he could bring to either Houston. Duh. That's just a no-brainer right there. I ain't gonna lie. He could bring it to Houston, or he could bring it back to New York, or his hometown or somewhere. And in my opinion, that'll sell the fuck out. Cause why? You got a personality in Oshaki that's gonna talk trash. He ain't T.O. He don't do all that goofy, racist jokes to try to promote himself. No, that's a real trash talker. Versus you, which you want to be a hood guy, but you're not. But that'll mix well. Like, but what he's doing is using the sanctioning body. Well, he already used them. I don't know how he gonna use them again, but he gonna use that. He gonna use the money that they're putting behind him, not the money he's generating. He's gonna use the money that they're putting behind him to claim the A side, and he's not gonna fight no black fighters. I'm telling people, I've been telling people that these fighters don't want to really be quote unquote great. They want to use that little notion or use that ability to say, talk about it, but once they get a certain... Oh shit. You can still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Once they get in a certain position, they flip the script and they know fans or the media, they can't go back on their word about what they was saying about a certain guy, i.e. Tank. They ain't gonna go back on that. So since it's him, they're gonna have to go with it because that's who they put over that guy. You get what I'm saying? They put Shakur over Tank, but when he does things that Tank does, now they gotta be like, oh well, yeah, just like Carissa was talking about, that's smart to put rehydration clauses on. No, that's because you gotta say that now. But you just said Tank is weak and scary. For the world to see on Gilly and Wallow podcast. But you won't say that about your little bro. And Bud in front of everybody said that Shakur is gonna what did he say he gonna do to Ryan? He's gonna he gonna mop the floor with him or something like that. Bro, he's not gonna step to Ryan. He's gonna be scary unless it's a certain clause in the contract. Wink, wink. You get what I'm saying? It's a certain clause in the contract. That's what they was saying too. I had to turn it off, bro, because they was the host was he a flip flopper just like the rest of the YouTubers. They go this way when it's going that way, but they say they're a fan of this person. But when certain people on the panel, they switch it up. And then this guy was actually on there saying that Tank can't collect data like how he be doing with these other fighters and lose rounds like he doing. I'm like, bro, y'all still saying that? It's like, yo, what? It's like you could use Chat GPT if you want to, bro. When I never, and I'm not like a big research person per se. Like I do a little bit, but I never seen Tank lose rounds, bro. Like not a whole bunch, but I seen him lose rounds. I'm talking about like how the narrative. They say, oh, he loses rounds until he gets the knockout, bro. Y'all, you could tell when it's a echo chamber when it's the same exact words verbatim that people say. Like, bro, you heard that from somewhere, bro. You heard that from these media people, bro. If you look at the fight, even when I look at the fight, I see the scorecards at the end. I be like, well, damn, they just trying to promote Tank because he not losing rounds. It's to make like Tank. I ain't gonna lie. It look to me, it look like he don't be I don't want to say he don't fight nobody, but it just seems like it be looking like too easy. He got to carry the person whoever he fighting most of the time. Not with the big fighters because he don't be trying to get hit with no shit. But the smaller fighters, or Mario Barrios, he probably had to carry him a little bit because he could have been got him out of there. But y'all keep using that to compare it to Tank, and I keep hearing that, and I'm like, bro, these people, they never say what Shakur got to do. That's a clear indicator that they don't know what the fuck they looking at. Like even Oshaquie. If you think Shakur's gonna do Oshaquie like he did T.O. or anybody else, you're wrong. Because Oshaquie is not just like Shakur, but he has some of the abilities, not of a high standard, but he has the abilities to close the distance, bro. I watched that man close the distance on a big ass Conceição. You get what I'm saying? Conceição was big as a bitch in there with Oshaquie. And I'm like, damn, is this the same guy that fought Shakur? Because he looked like huge, like a man's man, bro. And I had to double look at it like, bro, this can't be the same guy. But, you know, this ducking stuff, it only applies to about 2 or 3 fighters. And other than that, it's business, but he did this and this, that, and the third. You know how it go, man.
Yeah. Yeah, you dropped a lot of bars. The only 2 things I would say is that with that Tank point you make, I'm like, yeah, that's like they don't go back and do the research. Because when you look at the scorecards, all those rounds y'all say he's now, not saying that he don't lose rounds.
Right.
But all the rounds that y'all be doing the hyperbole thing with is not true. Because when you look at the scorecards, he was winning them. And the other thing is, we got some feedback. Somebody got some feedback. I think that's you, AJ.
Oh, all right, hold on. Let me.
Yeah. So, I was saying that a lot of people, they run with that narrative, and I stopped even addressing it because it's like you don't even do the research. Because on the scorecards, they don't say that he's losing all of the rounds that y'all say he's losing. Some of them, yeah, he will lose some rounds. He has lost some rounds, but like not to the extent of what everybody's saying. The only other point that you said, because you cook. I ain't want to stop you, but Carissa Shields, y'all notice how she always be talking about how small Shakur is. I'm like, why do y'all like? She always like. It seems to me she often makes that remark about how small, and like he's a little guy. If you look at him, he's small. And I heard another egghead say this, and I'm just like, okay, well, who like Tank is smaller than him? He can come in at 133. Like I told y'all, they would say it would be criminal if that man dropped down to 130. Man, y'all be saying, oh man, come on, y'all people would be, they're probably right there, congressman. But I know, I don't know, AC, you ain't spoken a while, and D Calico, you jumped out and jumped back in, but that's all I had on what AJ said. Other than that, you cooked, AJ. But what y'all, who got something on this?
Hey, before I got knocked off, I don't know what happened to my Wi-Fi. But as far as the rumors go, man, that is so damn ironic that he say rumors, and we all know the fighters that have rumors. You know what I mean? And I dare him to speak on one of those type of fighters. You feel me? And I guess I got to give my boy Keyshawn some props, because even Keyshawn spoke on a rumor. Bend down like a twig. Like even Keyshawn spoke on a rumor about Ryan Garcia, and he was saying that's why he wouldn't even fight him, because of all the rumors surrounding him. You know, so when it comes to Devin Haney, have you ever heard Keyshawn Davis use that narrative? Hell no, he won't a fight with Devin, but he doesn't want a Ryan fight because of the rumors. Now all of a sudden, a damn half-ass trainer, you feel me, father of a fighter, comes out with that, you know, Haney's microdose. If anybody would have ever said some bullshit like that, and not to make it believable, but I'm pretty sure it would have been Henry Garcia. You know what I'm saying? Somebody like that. One of them Garcias, it would have made more sense to say some bullshit like that to try to counter what's being said about them. You know? But man, yeah, man, the rumor thing is just like, I hope you don't think just because you're in the sport of boxing that you hear rumors that we don't. It wouldn't be a rumor if only they heard it. You know what I'm saying? Those would be whispers. You know what I mean? When it gets to the point of being a rumor, all, you know, real fans have heard the shit, whether they believe it or not. You know? Even some of our favorite fighters might have rumors. It is what it is. It don't make it true. You know? And the rumor that he just brought up, I don't think nobody's ever heard until he said it. So, you know, like, he's one of them kind of people in the hood that, you know, he what we call messy. You feel me? Your boy Brian Norman Sr. real messy.
I think, man, I think he hurt, man.
Yeah.
I think that's a pride thing, and I think that, man, it's just like, I hate to say it, man. I hate to say this, man, but I gotta keep it all the way funky, man. Because I had to do it when it came to Bud, man. That's just some ghetto shit, man. That's like, oh, okay, I fucked up. I keep bumping the DJ stand. I done spilled drink all on this person. I done knocked over the table and you know what I'm saying, fucked up, dropped half of the food on the floor, and people just said, all right, look, stay over there, and because you don't want to stay over there, now can't nobody have a good time. Now you about to shut down the party, man. That's just that I don't like it, man. That's why I stay to myself, you know. And I just think it's embarrassing, to say the least. It's embarrassing for us. It's like, just move on, because your son ain't taking it like that. And I seen something where Brian Norman tweeted back something like, if it's not coming from Brian Norman and it had the capital JR on it, he's like, then it don't apply. And then somebody commented up on it like, is this really Brian Norman Jr. saying this or something? So I'm just like, it's sloppy, it's messy, and then for your son's momentum, he could still have momentum as long as he get in there and get with a decent opponent, and he learned from this and move on. Y'all gonna be all right. But if you keep bringing them back because you like the limelight, you like the McDonald's, you like to go to McDonald's all the time. I told y'all about going to McDonald's all the time. I call them McDonald's for a reason, man. Ain't nothing healthy, ain't nothing nutritional value over there. You know, just in the semblance of a meal. You know, yeah, you're gonna get a drink. Yeah, your stomach gonna be full, but that shit ain't nothing nutritional about that shit.
Yep.
So that's what I got on that.
Well, I wanted to come in and say this. It has something to do with it, but kind of in a different space. And my question is, what happened to Keyshawn's big announcement? Because y'all was talking about rumors and Keyshawn was speaking on rumors and stuff like that. Keyshawn came out, according to Ring Magazine, saying he has an opponent and he has whatever.
A champ. No, yeah, a champ. He said, my opponent gonna be a champ. I'm gonna announce it soon. I'm gonna be fighting sooner than you know. But he said a champion. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so the reason why I'm bringing it up because in one of the housekeeping, it brought me back to when you were saying compromised media. You know what I'm saying? Because at that moment, Keyshawn said that those talks of what's wrong with Keyshawn fighting Shakur, being that ain't nobody talking about moving anywhere. We don't know what's going on. What's wrong with you two guys fighting? Because you are literally in the mandatory spot. That was something that I was starting to hear from a lot of different channels, like big channels, and then boom, Ring drops that. You don't hear none of that talk no more. So for me, it's like the timing of issues. We have to look at when these announcements happened. What else was going on between those announcements, and why haven't we heard anything since that announcement? And that's where that's the point I wanted to make.
Yeah, only thing I have to add to that is that Eddie came out vehemently, and I wanted to play something that Eddie said, man. You got that dude is a snake, but he basically said that when it comes down to Crocker, that he's gonna have to face Liam Paro. Because I was like, okay, when I was looking at the landscape, let's look at the landscape. Let's look at the landscape. This is the landscape. So the IBF, we see who got the IBF. That's Crocker. They saying he got to do the Liam Paro thing. Ryan, they're speculating him and Tio. Supposedly Devin and Rolly's supposed to be getting it on May 30th. It's the clock is ticking. This is well overcooked. I don't know what big fight that has to happen before, like, they don't want to get swept up in the media push, but that's what's being said. But he said, I'm going to 47 and I'm fighting the champion next, and I'm going to be fighting sooner than what y'all think. That was what Keyshawn said. That's why I said that's on wax. And I'm like, what happened to that? I don't know. Like, what it like do? Is it an IBO? Is it an IBO out there somewhere? Even though we don't really be, you know what I'm saying? We know that's what Boots got, but like we don't really be on it unless it's like got European implications, you know, or somebody using it to leverage the WBA, which we ain't hearing no talk. But I was wondering what happened with that. You know, I don't know. But these guys, that's why I say I've given myself permission to not even to ID Gaff about what they be saying and doing. I just do it so I'm relevant, so nobody can't come over here and just piss on my head and tell me it's raining. You know, I stay aware, but like them guys, man, Linguini method, man. Linguini method, man. And when they slide it out, y'all gonna be like, oh, that's not a bad fight. Actually, I really want to see that. Actually, that's good. And the media gonna drum it up. And one of these plants gonna get an interview with them, with the opposite, whoever the opponent is, and y'all just gonna go down the yellow brick road.
Yeah, Eddie do it all the time, bro. I don't know why it's like, bro, he does this every single time. It's not even funny at this point. When it comes to his countrymen, he's gonna get them fights against American boxers. That's just how he do it. And the play been ran since he came to America. He been doing the same thing. Devin Haney was his number one guy. He used to do that with. All them guys Devin Haney was fighting, bro, they was his peoples. He probably know them personally. And Boots, knowing he was gonna get a whole bunch of them, he wasn't worried. To me, in my opinion, he wasn't really worried about like the he might have been like wanting to be undisputed, but he knew he was gonna get them Europeans he was gonna knock out. Like these guys almost make you look like invincible, just enough for Eddie to keep you on a roll. You know, you getting fights. You're going to be getting fights, but he gonna dangle that undisputed them titles as long as he can until he find one of his people that could beat you. That's just how you go, bro.
Yeah. You hit it on the head, man. No diddy. Yeah, because with our guys, the ones that he procure from over here and take over there, with our guys, he flim and bamboozle them a little bit. But with his guys, man, he full steam ahead because it's a clip I want to play so bad, man. I want to do it, but like it's a clip where one aspect of it is he's talking about this guy right here. Where he at? This guy with the WBC. It's Dalton Smith. He's saying that okay, he got to handle the Alberto Puello thing, which is no easy feat at all. I think he probably gonna lose that belt, in my opinion. If Puello in his A game, that strap is probably coming off. He's that now Puello, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's getting ready to get relieved of a strap. But his whole thing is he got to get past that, and there is an urgency where he's outwardly saying no because our goal is unifying, like right away. I don't think he should have to wait. I said, hold on. He just got the strap. But like that's what I was saying with Saburo. I said, man, I'm questioning when you went over there because I don't want you to be in a position where all you're doing is defenses. Like you're gonna get worried because you're gonna want to unify, but like they keep hovering. Like notice how the unification is like he got the boots thing, but like that was like with Stylianis, man. He got it. He got that. You know, he got that one, but like it don't be no urgency for him to get these guys to unify or for them guys. Like where it's no urgency. But he be saying some wild stuff, man. I'm just like, man, ain't nobody out here like holding his feet to the fire. But good point, man. Good point.
And also earlier on Twitter, I saw this old video of Tevin Farmer when him and Tank was going back and forth. That was supposed to be a big fight, and Tevin Farmer said, "Yeah, man, because they didn't offer a lot of money. Mind you, they offered him $2 million, and I don't know what he got in his career, but they offered that man $2 million for the fight. He was like, yeah, they ain't offered me enough money on that side, man. And if he was gonna come over here, we would have offered him a lot of money, but on that side, they trying to lowball and that. I'm like, well, bro, if you think about it, they not lowballing. They predicting what the fight is gonna make because they know what they got over there. See, Eddie Hearn is trying to finesse to get Tank the price sign, or that was during the time he was trying to steal fighters from everywhere. I'm like, bro, that man Eddie Hearn is really digging these fighters out of their big fight paydays just to go fight his peoples over there. He won't serve boots up nobody that's credible. He not gonna make no effort to do it, bro, because he wants somebody that's from England, Europe, wherever, to fill in that void so he can promote them, because that's where his heart at, bro. That's where his heart at. He ain't got no love for even his fighters. Like, yeah, Devin Haney was with him for a long time, but a little too long, because as you can see, Devin Haney had to go to Top Rank just to get Undisputed, because he wasn't trying to pay for the Undisputed. He wasn't trying to pay for it, man. Like, that man been a snake, and it's funny how they used to make fun of Lennon Ellaby for going at him, but all Eddie Hearn used to do was smile and laugh and all that. But it was the truth, though. It was the truth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, man. Eddie, nobody talks about that, man. It's just wild, man. It's just wild. We don't know what we want to get, man. I hope these fights get across the line. I hope they stop playing. We need some announcements, because I think we kind of got spoil you right at the beginning of the year. So we getting some fights, and it's like some ancillary fights, like what Pro Box is doing. Like I saw that fight, I saw that card, man. That dude McKinley, that young boy from Florida. I like that fight, and the fight with Najee Lopez, man. That fight was wow. I seen that same dude when he beat up Khalil Cole.
I think we're gonna get some fight announcements. They just waiting on the PBC guys to announce their fight. They waiting for the PBC guys. Huh?
Let me open this up to y'all while y'all here. Does ESPN linking up with DAZN? Do y'all think that's a good move?
No, they're going out of business. Like how they say about the PBC, they going out of business, man. They going out of business. That's a bad move. No, man. No, it's the ESPN. They going broke. No, I think it is a good move because they be whipping them their fighters. The zone, ESPN. That's the only people they gonna make fighters against. That's crazy. If you notice, Bob used to work with Eddie a lot. Like Lomachenko used to send him over there a lot. He used to send what's his name? Damn, what was his name, bro? He used to send all his fighters over there. But y'all could cook on that though.
What you think? What y'all think? AC, D Calico, what y'all think?
For me, I like I said, I think it's a good move. Might be the thing that brings all of boxing together to whereas we've already got the news that Top Rank was going to work with PBC in that capacity. We already know that Golden Boy has done it, and Eddie doesn't really have any issues with doing it. So it could be the type of thing that's going to get us all the fights that we were looking for. That's why I didn't give D Calico any pushback when he was saying that he doesn't know if these fights are going to get made. If everybody's pretty much under one network, because Sky Sports is the parent company to DAZN and even Queensberry. So Sky now effectively is the home of sanctioned boxing. So you don't necessarily have conflicting networks and this and that and this and that. So that aspect, if we bring it back to yesterday's show of understanding the business of boxing, when the contracts and the entertainment lawyers and network deals and stuff like that are all put together and ran by the sanctioning bodies, and the sanctioning bodies are the joints that's actually gonna tell us who's who and what's what, then it makes perfect sense. That's the smartest move. You know what I'm saying? So I have no issues with it. I'm actually looking forward to seeing how it works out.
Yeah, I think it's good. You're right. I think it's good because as long as you don't hear no anti, that don't mean that they're not going to work with the PBC. But if you look at it in the little triangle they got, that means that top ranked fighters will be able to fight Golden Boy fighters, top ranked fighters will be able to fight matchroom fighters. There'll be no real barrier with that. PBC, people don't really realize this, but PBC be sending people over and letting people, because they're really their own entities. Al and them or Tom, they just was advising, and then they was doing their own cards and showcasing their own guys and building their own guys. But they was, people will walk across the street now since they made that, since they switched over to Amazon and they've had a little lull in the action. more fighters have been walking, and fighting in different areas. But that's been happening. People they love to ignore that. So I think it's good. And Bob in his old age, Bob has changed a lot, man, in his old age. Bob didn't care. He was, he would just say whatever. But I think in his older age, as he sat back and really thought about it, if you really listen to him, man, that's why I say you got to listen to what Bob was saying. He was already on it. He was already on some of these pay-per-view fights and saying it could happen. So that's why I'm believing more and more that it be them fighters that be playing a little peekaboo, you know what I'm saying? Like, nope, they don't want to fight me. Yeah, you don't want to fight me. Nope, they don't want to fight me. They be doing that. So I think it's good overall.
Calico, you unmiked your joint.
Yep, my bad, I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I was looking at the numbers on that deal, and it's such a low ball number, like 1.25 million per event. So they're not going to be giving us no big time fighters. I think they're going to go into woodwork, or really, I think the television stations trying to be smart and get the youth and the young talent on display, because these are going to be future legends. You know what I'm saying? So they're trying to get them while they're cheap, and hopefully find a Shakur or a Devin or a Tank while they're very young and cheap, and that'll also let the network know who to really invest in the future. Because with a budget like that, I'm sure they can't even afford one great fighter with that kind of budget. So there's going to be a lot of lesser showcase events, but that don't mean it ain't going to be action packed.
Well, yeah, but to that point, D Calico, what I think that is really like a rival play to what the Zuffa people do.
Zuffa. Yeah, it's definitely
because it's going to stop a lot of people from being able to. It's like, hold on, man, we got events now. Now we're going to showcase you now, but it's going to be at this level in that bracket, because I've been seeing. I've just seen where they going to have, was it Feargar, McCrory, and somebody else over there on Zuffa. I'm like, see, y'all signing up, y'all opening up and saying for this. Like, y'all got your knee pads, y'all got all them cuts behind your knees, strapping it on extra tight for this. Like, you getting strawberry flavored throat coat for this? You broke out the WD-40 on your reach around extender for this? You got your tonsil jewelry bedazzled with nothing but platinum for this? Like, knock it off, y'all. Like, so I think that it's really a play to get those intermediate level guys, and then I'm thinking the deal is more because that's where it's going to showcase, but I don't know if that speaks to any cap that they're going to have or what they want to pay the fighter. I think that's just to do to be able to showcase on the network and work with the other two entities over there on the zone as well. So I'm thinking it might be some marquee guy, but they might get, you know how they do. They might have some deal, because that Shakur deal, if I go back to the Shakur deal from what we read and what we reported on, 6 mil, it was 6 fights, 18 mil minimum, meaning that, okay, he got a minimum, but then based on whatever they do around that, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's gate, I don't know if it's, I don't know, you know what I'm saying, the intricacies of it. But I think it's good, man. I think it's good, and I think it's really to combat the Zuffas, not necessarily the Pro Box, because Pro Box been working with everybody, but like that Zuffa thing, they gonna stop people from going over there just on the humbug for a couple of dollars. I think that's what that was for, really.
Yeah. Put it like this. Like, I would liken it to the NBA making the G League to counter like the minor league type of thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like saying we're going to keep this in-house talent. We don't want them to go into a secondary league and start their own thing. You feel me? Because some of these are great players that could end up on, professional rosters. So, heck yeah. They see what Zuffa doing. Zuffa getting all these guys while they're young and hungry. While they'll take $1 million a year. That sounds great.
But
To them young.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Izzy.
I was just gonna say, when the rumors were around PBC being dropped from Showtime, and then we heard ESPN being dropped from Showtime. Some of the inside chatter was basically asking the question of what happens to all the lower level fighters, the guys that, you know, haven't had the opportunity yet, but are really solid fighters, young guys that they sign, that they want to be able to showcase and stuff like that. So we were saying, you know, on some of the channels that I was rocking with, that, you know, you'll probably see bigger undercard or prelim bouts. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And to a certain degree, you are seeing that, where the prelim show is a whole show within itself. You know, and then the main card is like the icing on the cake to what would be on paper great prelim fights. So it was always being said that Top Rank would sign to the Zone or even Sky Sports, because Top Rank, because of what was known as the Top Rank diet. And for the Top Rank diet to work, you need a network. And even though that network deal initially may not pay out what you're looking for, but overall, with proven consistent fights, you know what I'm saying? We don't know the terms of that contract. There could be a stipulation, you know, that says you can go back and renegotiate. You can do that shit when you buy a car. You can renegotiate your terms when you buy a home and shit like that. So if you got really good lawyers, they might want to put that stipulation in there. If we exceed X amount of views per show, do we have the leverage to increase that amount of money per fight? So then, yeah, it makes 100% sense that in the terms of how you guys are putting it, that it's the thing that stops, that brings the young fighters to stay there and actually challenges Zuffa in a way that Zuffa just won't be able to compete. Because fighting through this young program, or however they're going to structure it, is, number one, you're always going to be sanctioned. Number two, it's a direct path of legacy. It's no different than going over to Pro Box. But now you get to stay here. And now, even in Pro Box, we have all of these mixed promotional companies that the promoters and the managers and everybody's working together, because it's easy. These fights are easy to put together. You don't have to deal with the personalities of so-called stars. So, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I think for the Derek Scooter Davises of the world, this is where he started making his bones. That body work, you know what I'm saying? That body work, devastating body snatcher that's rising, man. That shark in the water down there. Guys like that are going to get their shine and get exposure. Hopefully Tito Mercado get to eat some, you know, and we get to see him in the mix. But I think it's I
was just gonna say, like, dudes like Adam Azim will be good down there as well. You know, and yeah. Turk guy. What's that other young dude that's Turk's guy?
But he might be out of the mix for a minute. Alakel.
Yeah.
He might be out the mix, man. But I think maybe for the Zone, because it's like it's Turkey and them. What people don't really see is that they started a Cold War too, man. Because he's not like this. This is not gonna be a feeder system for them guys over there. Like the Zuffa is a feeder system for that Riyadh, but that stuff might be finito, man. We just got to see what the real implications are. You know, there's already been some rumors that dates are being canceled and budget is, you know, the budget has been ixnayed. So don't know if we can factor him in a lot of these things, because, and then also it's the direct conflict with Zuffa. So we'll see how it work out, man. We'll see how it work out.
Hey, on a side note, man, them gas prices higher than a motherfucker, man.
Man, yeah.
Damn. Like, I be trying to ignore you, Trump, but damn it, now you tapping into my pockets. Hey, that gas high as hell, boy. I'm talking about 1 gallon is goddamn damn near $5.
5?
Yeah, 1 gallon like $5 damn near. One measly gallon of gas.
I ain't seen. I gotta look again, man. I gotta look. I think with, you know what I'm saying, since it's a write-off, I don't really be
okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I ain't
yeah.
But yeah, I'll be chilling. Like, I get in my little, you know what I'm saying, I scoop around, you know what I'm saying, get to where I need to go and do what I gotta do, but I ain't out there. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you it is, because shoot, sometimes I went there week before last, they ain't have no gas. You know what I'm saying? They was waiting. Salute to Thomas Hill. You know what I'm saying? The building. But yeah, I'm gonna let y'all wrap up and do what y'all do, man. And I'm gonna do the little presentation part of it. You know what I'm saying? With the factual things, like the stuff that people probably might think is boring, but it for me it's exciting for me. But you know what I'm saying? What y'all want to leave the people with, man? I'm gonna wrap before I wrap this thing up with the presentation.
God dang. In boxing today, it's just like the streets, man. The loudest motherfucker do all that barking, ain't gonna bite nothing when you open the gate. You feel me? So the gate wide open, and certain people that did all this barking, they ain't biting. You feel me? Like I thought about it the other day, like with Keyshawn Davis. This man, you know how they say, people say everything but let's fight. This man called out everybody for De Los Santos. You feel me? Like, you think Haney need to fight Ryan? Boy, you need to go fight De Los Santos. If you got that much sense to understand, oh yeah, you need to get some get back. Bro, you need to get some get back. You know? So it seemed like the ones that don't do no talking, them the threats in boxing. You feel me? Like whoever's the least talker is really about that action. You know, the one who doing all that jaw jacking, what he gonna do when we open the gate? You feel me? And that's just the state of boxing right now. I feel like it's just crazy, man. You know, like I've never seen this many people, or like professional boxers, all lined up like they're not gonna fight each other, but they all want to fight him. And right now, him is Devin Haney. You know, it's like, what in the hell? So none of y'all gonna fight each other, but he got to fight everybody. I mean, I want to see him fight all y'all, but damn, is anybody gonna fight anybody else? You know, shit ain't fair. Shit crazy. You know, and all of these fighters is pretty much safe, because if we could run, you know, pick their opponents and make them run a gauntlet, is no different than any other sport. There would be no such thing as an undefeated boxer. You know what I mean? If we really ran them through a gauntlet, ain't no fighter gonna survive the gauntlet that we would put him through. You know what I'm saying? It's just like Kobe Bryant. There's no way if we had all one-on-one games, he can't win every game. He's not going undefeated. You feel me? Jordan ain't going undefeated. Nobody. KD, LeBron, it ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? So boxing is the only sport where they're getting away with, you know, making people think there's such thing as undefeated. No, we will run you through a gauntlet. We will, take you down, bro. You know what I'm saying? We're tapping into that health bar and watch it deplete. But
Right.
y'all already know it's always a pleasure. I
I
appreciate y'all
appreciate you.
having.
Appreciate you, D Calico, man. It's always good when you jump up on here, man. I like what you add. And to your point, I was thinking about this, man, just to give you something to think about, man. I kept saying, okay, I'm gonna have an open mind, right? Because I see, we talked about how Shakur went from number 3 pound for pound after beating T.O. to number 1 pound for pound after. Not sure what happened, but that's what everybody's saying,
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but and then they were putting Keyshawn like they were like joined at the hip. You would think they saw me, so it's like they're number 1, number 2. I started saying, okay, based on what?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
What name? Because to this day they saying that Tank still ain't fought nobody yet. Everybody want to fight people that he's already fought and stopped. So I was like, based on what name? I was like, because if you're looking at what Bud did, at least Bud had the volume. He had a number of fights already. You don't have the volume of fights, and then Bud was violently stopping stuff. But they're putting him right there with Bud. Like him and Keyshawn, they were the benefactors of Bud retiring because somehow he magically transferred whatever cachet he had going out the door to them through osmosis. I don't know what it was, but I'm like, now we don't even qualify why they're good. Now Bud did prove that maybe resumes don't matter. Maybe it's timing, and maybe you catching the guy or sizing the guy. I don't know, maybe. But I'm thinking that he's more like the exception and not the rule. But we are putting Keyshawn on a pedestal for what name? Ooh. I was thinking about, okay, I want to rock with what you're saying. I hear the passion. I know you got your knee pads on. I see you. They say DB4. I got you. But based on what? But we can't have that kind of conversation. But good point, D Calico, as always, man. Keep dropping that hot fire. I hope you've been seeing your shorts. I've been trying to highlight sections of people getting their bars off so that everybody can hear. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Hey, man, you've been doing an excellent job too. I don't know if you've seen what I did on my channel. I used the same audio that you had.
Yeah, that was cool. That was neat. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
I went and put that visual.
You
feel me?
It looked way better. I said, what is that? I said, okay, yeah, and it made sense. You did that good too, yeah.
Yeah, it really proved my point too, I'm like, bro, nobody shadow boxes like that.
Because when you said it, I was thinking, because I know you're a fan. You got carte blanche, you a fan. So I was like, when you said it, I was thinking, let me see. But when you put the visual to it, I was like, okay. He lined that up. He did that. You know what I'm saying? You got that off. Yeah. Yeah.
But y'all already know, man. We're going to keep it 100. I appreciate everybody, Bodywork Boxing. Y'all smash that like button.
Appreciate you, man. Have a good evening. What you got, AJ?
Yeah, man. Another great show. Man, what can I say, man? It's getting real redundant and repetitive with this Bodywork because you don't want to speak on it because people, and this only happens in boxing. I promise you to do. Certain events and certain things, people, it's either they choose to forget or they just live in the moment and just forget the past or whatever. But what I like about what you do with your channel, even when you used to do the videos a lot, you used to chronicleize a lot of events and put this and that together, what this person said, what that person said, and you don't let people forget. And every now and then you'll when you're live, you'll put the video up of what the person said, bro. Because people in boxing forget, bro. Bro, I'm tired of I've been tired of holding back, but Shakur is a duck. He's just straight up a duck, bro. He got that label on him. I don't care what nobody say he's great. That man's a duck. With Bud, his father, at least you could say Bud fought somewhat
you know, he did maneuver a little bit, waited it out, but at least he fought. You know, some guys in there, he got in there with the monster, no matter how much messed up he was. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like my man D Calico said, bro, when the gate is open, these thugs don't come out. They like little Panamanian, like whatever the Lord
Pomeranian.
does. Yeah, yeah, they don't. Cause bro, correct me if I'm wrong, Bodywork. Tank, Shakur, they was free, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tank, the whole, you know, all these channels, they was making fun of Tank, mocking them, talking about, he keep talking about 6, 7 fights. Even Shakur got on Twitter saying, oh, is I'm on that, is I'm on that, why I gotta be last? Why I'm last? All right, the man, he didn't send a contract. They got in contact with Bob, his promoter at the time, because he was going to resign. I think he was going to resign at a certain point. But what did Shakur say? He said, "I'm taking my talents to Matchroom." And what happened after that? Shakur got on a podcast, basically with you know, this rarely happens when you got a fighter and another representative of a fighter on the same place. Steve Espinosa told that man straight in his face, "We tried to make the fight with you." He said, "What?" he he's like, it's like he caught amnesia that quick, bro. He know damn well, because the video came out of him and Bob saying, Bob said, we not ready to make, why would I make Tank money and I got my fighters over here? And Shakur in one video said, oh yeah, they reached out to me, but it was, you know, he tried to downplay it. But, you know, stuff like that gets swept under the rug, man. And it's like, where is the mecca of boxing? It gotta be Bodywork Boxing, bro. Because he's the first one that brought it out before anybody, before his fake fan, his fake #1 fan, you know, that channel over there. And before that, because he gonna agree with the enemy and say Tank never sent him nothing. It wasn't this. No, we all know fights get made by going back and forth. Back and forth. Like contracts get sent like at the last little bit to finalize it. But other than that, it's like how Rolly did. I tell my people to talk to your people. Boom, 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 and now we here. No, he ain't want to do that. He went over to Matchroom and signed. His ass signed, and Eddie, another video that people could pull up, said, I was told not to make a fight with Javante Tank Davis. So that's all I gotta say, bro. These fighters is ducks, and y'all choose to put them somewhere in guard status, and it's kind of weird. But yeah, that's all I gotta say, man. Salute to the channel, man.
I appreciate you, man. Bars, AJ, man. Yeah, man. I'll to your point, man. And I hope you have a good evening, man. Thanks for coming through, man, and you know, donating your time to the channel, man. We appreciate it. Hope you've been seeing your shorts too. You've been on fire. I've been showcasing and letting the world hear you. But to your point, Tank wasn't hitting that man up for crumpets and tea, because in one breath they'll tell you, the same thing you just said. In one breath they'll tell you, oh man, you know, they don't send out no contracts at first. First is terms, and then but it start with somebody reaching out. That your people call my people. Hence, when Earl was saying, you know, call Al, they flamed him. Now, 2026, you got Keyshawn saying, call Jay, as in Prince. But Steven Espinosa, and salute the Blaze, Steven Espinosa came out and said what it was. And Shakur had already said, yeah, they reached out. We talked. They talked to my people in this, and he basically said, we're gonna spin the block. That's what he said, because we was on it. We was following the bouncing ball all along. But he wasn't, Tanking them wasn't hitting them up for crumpets and tea, man. He wasn't asking if they wanted to go to Top Golf and, you know, and have brunch. You know, I don't think it was nothing like that. unless y'all know something about Tank that I don't know. And he went over there in record-breaking fashion. I want y'all to use because I tried it, but I want to say it was less than 20 days. I think it might have been like 13 days from the time, because you seen him before it was even announced. You seen Eddie parading around with Shakur under his wing. Hey, mate, I think he's the best fighter in the world. Listen, when it comes to Shakur, I believe that he's, all of that hyperbole that Eddie be doing. That gawk. Record-breaking fashion, he went over there, and then, like my man just told you. He just learned you something. What Eddie said. Eddie was like, I was told not to make the Tank fight. So why would you go over there and say, oh, don't even try to make that fight? We was cooking the shit out of that point. I know I was. That was still when I was a fan, so I was a little bit milder than now. I did gaff anymore. But good points, AJ. What you got, AC?
Man, just another great show, bro. Everybody was cooking tonight, man. This is the type of thing where in my business, we would have just called this, one of those once in a lifetime chef collaborations and shit like that. But with that being said, man, where we are talking about guys who duck, we've established what are the criteria for an actual duck, but when you read the article about guys on how these are the most common ways moving up the division, changing trainers, managers, all of this type of stuff, how they conduct smoke and things like that, you got to put people like Boots, Keyshawn, and a lot of other guys in those same categories, because they were in a division where the competition was knocking on their door, and the heat got hot, so they got the fuck up out of Dodge, and it's just not a good look for the sport. It's not a good look for your brand, and fighters just need to stop doing that bullshit. And with that being said, hit that like button. On to the next one, Body.
Word. Bars as always, man. One of the best, if not the best, co-host on the planet. Why? Because he stayed true to himself. You know what I'm saying? He got freedom of speech. He done made it to OG status, man, and level-headed, business-minded, stand-up dude, man. He never surprises me, man. So it's good having somebody like AC around, you know what I'm saying, helping me hold it down. And so that it's not just so always just me just rambling and talking and all of that, like bouncing my stuff off of somebody that's gonna keep me in check and say, hold on, and this and that, you know what I'm saying, blah, blah, blah. So always appreciate AC, man, his contributions, man. Them playbacks be fire, man. He always be dropping some jewels. I'm hearing your analogy usage, man, is on fire. Everybody landing planes everywhere. So salute to you for that. The last thing I want to do, y'all, is, let me come out. Last thing I'm gonna do, y'all, is I'm gonna wrap up this presentation and I'm gonna give it to y'all, man, because I think it's needed, man. Like when he say put stakes in the ground with factual information, I gotta do this because a lot of people be saying word of mouth. I hear a lot of people getting credit or giving credit to other sources for when stuff happens. So for me, it's always like I always have solace in knowing that you can't gaslight me, because I know that at some point in time I said it, and if I said it, I had to tie it down with proof. So I always put the proof in the videos, like AJ said. Either you hear it straight from the horse's mouth, I'll read an article that, that doubles down on something that I may have said a month, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 5 days, 3 months ago. always have those sources, you know what I'm saying? And since this is is a duck, I gotta go over this. I gotta break it down. And I'm not gonna take too long, man. I'm not gonna take too much of your time, but I gotta do this. Modern ducking and boxing. I don't want y'all to be distracted by me, but I want to let y'all know I'm here. I'm always there, man. Sometimes I want y'all to focus on what's being said and not what you see. But let me get into this, y'all, because this is some nutritional value in this one as well, right? But since this is part 2, I had to, you know what I'm saying, put some stakes in the ground and go over this so that it's on wax and we can go back to it and refer to it. But remember, I just told y'all about the linguine method, right? So I want y'all to be able to hear me, man, and I want the presentation to go swell. But ducking today is rarely outright fear. I question that, you know what I'm saying, but they are gladiators, so, you know, it's not as much as what people make it out to be, because you got to be, you know what I'm saying, you got to be about that life to get in there and box, man. It shows through business tactics, like conditions and delays, right? It's rarely an outright refusal. It appears through negotiation tactics, conditions, delays, opponent changes, and then they have the whole risk versus reward decisions. Like, oh man, that's high risk, low reward. You know what I'm saying? You get to hearing that, like, you get to hearing people saying high risk, low reward and stuff like that. Then you know that's pretty much duck talk. Haney versus Garcia. The rematch is stalled despite the demand. One side added conditions, the other pushed publicly. Right? Extra testing demands was introduced. Garcia team accused avoidance. Haney explored other options, like the Rolly, like the Rolly fight, which in either case it's a unification. That's why I said we got to classify what it is, because I don't know. The verdict is out. You know what I'm saying? The verdict is still out. The jury is still out, shall I say. The verdict hasn't been delivered to be technically sound. Stevenson versus Garcia. If you look at it, I'm going right down the line of this here. The fighters on the bottom, just like I went down the row of these fighters right here in the succession of how different stages in different situations, people were saying either one of them was a duck. But if y'all following the bouncing ball all along, this is what I'm talking about. Like, I'm going down this line, if you following. Negotiations broke due to weight and rehydration demands, acting as barriers. Catch weight, 144 pounds were requested. Rehydration and testing conditions, even though that's a moot point because, Ryan is in Vada, man. You know what I'm saying? And the only time he popped high was that thing. But, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to be realistic about it, he lost the fight. He had to have testing all the way up and through that. After that fight, and he had to have testing all the way up and through this last fight. So he didn't have 2 fights successfully with no whatever. He's been on VADA, so that wasn't a problem. To me, when people start bringing that up, all I'll be hearing is quack, quack, quack. And negotiation stalled. Right? Stevenson and Foster. The information, when I scoured for it, and this is why I say, you got to come here. Like, you got to go to places that's going to put a stake in the ground. That's not scared to say what it really is because of popularity or an affiliation with a specific camp. Now, I told y'all, I actually went out on a limb and I actually reached out to Oshaki. Oshaki know who Bodywork Boxing is. Before he even had a title, I was pushing for him and doing content on him, and he said, ain't nothing gonna stop you from getting that belt. What happened? He went ahead and got the belt. I reached out to him because there aren't any. Because think about it. The media darling right now was Shakur. So nobody's really speaking on the other side. There are not too many releases, media releases or anything like that, other than an occasional, interview from Oshaquie, where you actually get to hear it straight from the horse's mouth, like what's going on, what are your intentions, how you think. And he had a very thorough approach. He wanted Shakur, but he had a plan B, C, D, like the same thing we be asking for people like Boots. He has that same thing. So although you can scour and look for it, there aren't going to be any firm, confirmed avoidance reports, but you will get something over here on Bodywork Boxing. Just like when I go back, like if you want a masterpiece right here, go back and look at this one. Go back and look at this one. You want a masterpiece? Go back and look at this one. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's on wax. I just want to let y'all know. But their reasoning, and this is what their detractors be saying, different weight paths. Oh man, he down, man. He at 140 in it. But even though he said he was, now before he said, I'm gonna get the 40 belt, Shakur me, I'm gonna get the 40. I'm gonna get that strap from T.O. I'm gonna drop it. I'm gonna let my mans have it. And then I'm gonna go back down to 35. Well, he didn't pay the fee. And I was like, was he really mad? Because he didn't pay the fee because he was gonna have to fight Oshaquie. Oshaquie was like, look, man, he ain't gonna fight me. I'm gonna go down to 30 and try to see what's popping with my plan B, C, and D. Right? Which may entail Ray Ford. It might. Ray Ford keeps saying hashtag still waiting and ain't nothing been signed, but also Casey just beat Jazza Dickens for the WBA in his division. So I'm thinking Oshaquie and his team might have reached out and said, okay, let's get this guy while he got momentum and while he's looking like that, because shit, we need to unify. Oshaquie is like, look, I'm gonna either get Shakur or I'm gonna try to unify these belts. Oshaquie is about that action, but they're saying they're on different weight paths. Even though Oshaquie is taller and has a longer reach, he's more leaner than Shakur. But his dimensions are, he's taller and longer than Shakur, and it'll be nothing. He even said, he doubled down and said, I'll come see you at 40. But guess what? All of that was Knicks, right? And now we're hearing rumors that Shakur is gonna go down to, he's thinking about going down to 35 to go fight Murataya, which is an IBF with a rehydration. I don't know how that's gonna work, but y'all can riddle me that later. Foster, this is what I be trying to talk about. High risk, low reward. What I just tell y'all about high risk, low reward when you start hearing stuff like that? If you one of them ones, you an apex predator, you on your Highlander type shit. What's high risk, low reward? When you the guy. And that fight is not prioritized. It wouldn't be. It really wouldn't be prioritized. But it's not prioritized because of low risk, high reward. Patterns of avoidance, non-standard contract demands, shifting opponents mid-negotiation. We've seen all this. Weight and rehydration clauses. We've seen that. Public call-outs, no contracts. Golly. Looking for conditions, delays, and opponent shifts as indicators. That's what you want to start looking at when you start trying to see. Let's look in the micro. Let's look at the magnifying glass. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for conditions, delays, opponent shifts, indications like call-outs for no contract. All of those things are things that would indicate that somebody is doing some ducking. An historical example, Bo versus Lewis. Bo discarded the belt instead of fighting Lewis. Clear avoidance. It was 1992 WBC belt discarded. Avoided the mandatory in Lennox Lewis. Clear documented avoidance. One of boxing's strongest cases. Everybody see that footage. It's one of the most popular ones. Mayweather versus Pacquiao delay. Years of negotiation disputes. You had drug testing disagreements. Fight delayed until 2015 when both fighters were past their peak. And that's what I thought we was going to get with Earl. At the rate that Shakur and Tank going, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I think it's still time on the clock when they're still in their prime, but it's based on the activity and what they got going ahead before they make that fight. The conclusion. Modern ducking is a business strategy, y'all. It's risk management over fear. I remember cooking on this, man, when I found out that Shakur Stevenson in that record-breaking dash that he did from Top Rank over the match room in about 13 to 23 days, or however long it was. When I found out that it was Joe Cordina coming off of a knockout loss to Kakesi, the guy who just beat Jazza Dickens, he had knocked out Joe Cordina. He was going to fight Joe Cordina, moving up from 30 to 35, coming off of a knockout loss to that guy, Kakesi, who just won here recently. Think about that. I said, oh, man, it's the same feeling I had when we learned that basketball went to risk management. Now, to a certain extent, we know in the beginning of a fighter's career, but once you become one of them ones, if the fight makes sense and they do this and it's that, like when you're a hot commodity, you typically don't do that. Like you don't fight somebody coming off of a loss, especially coming off of a knockout loss, especially moving up. Now, there are cases like that, like Rolly, you know what I'm saying? There are cases. But the criticisms that we have over here, we could be consistent with them all because we got to weigh them all on the scale. That's what keep us honest. So it's really just risk management over fear is what they say, even though I do think that there are boxers out here that truly fear fighting another fighter. I do. Patterns reveal intent. Like when you start seeing patterns, like in HVAC, that's what all I had to do. Like when you're troubleshooting, you got to watch patterns, like water levels, temperatures rising, you know, like airflow measurements. Like when you see patterns and you see, okay, at this time, this is what it's doing. It's part of the troubleshooting. So me, I recognize, for one, I got a photographic memory. Two, I recognize patterns. And once I recognize patterns in anything, in people's behavior and how people acting, like if I speak to you every time I see you, right? But you speak to me every other time you see me, eventually I'm just gonna stop speaking. Why? Because be consistent. Just nod your head, say what's up, acknowledge that we both give each other the nod. You ain't even gotta open up your mouth. Just get a head nod and keep moving. But if sometimes you act like you don't see me, and then sometimes you're like, oh, hey, how you doing? Eventually I'm gonna stop speaking. I recognize patterns. And being avid about boxing, have a photographic memory, photographic memory and a memory like an elephant. I recognize these patterns, so it's easy, and I'm like, man, this don't sound right. And I be remembering what they say, when they said it, the situation, and all that. So it's like, for me, I try not to get so worked up about it. I'm like, oh, well, you really don't want to fight this guy. Patterns. Fans interpret behavior. That's the era we in right now, where the fans are interpreting the behavior. Oh, no, I didn't really think that. What I saw was, man, I saw a man that was confident, and he was like, hold on, man, how... Okay, were you looking at his posture? Were you reading his mind through osmosis? What was it? But now we're living in a time where fans interpret the behavior, right? But they interpret the behavior like, because somebody could ask for a clause or rehydration, weight stipulation or whatever. Circumstances don't even have to be the same. They will fry. You'll have fried mealing duck everywhere with extra sauce when it comes to this fighter. But when their fighter come out and say the same thing, they don't judge that behavior the same, even though they judging both boxers' behavior. That's all I really had, man, to close it out, man. I just, we got to do that, man, because, when it started getting down to like whether a fighter is ducking, maneuvering, whatever, making a decision for his career, sometimes, you can't fight killer after killer after killer, right? It's kind of got to be like killer, named opponent, but give you a good challenge test, because you can't wear your batteries down. And I think reasonable fans know that you can't fight killer after killer after killer. That's how you get burnt out. That's how you get punch drunk. That's how you get PTSD and slurred speech and all that. You know what I'm saying? It's just more training, more sparring. Sparring is worse, more than likely. Sometimes sparring is worse than an actual fight, but you can't do that. All we ask is like reasonable. Like if you one of them ones, like, and we try to highlight them ones that's really got it, like the ones that's like apex predators, the ones that really got the skills, the ones that we just want to see fight up against the other guys that's highly skilled. That's all it really be. When these fighters start moving funny, man, we got to start speaking and talking about what we're actually seeing and how they're actually moving. And we just got to be honest about it. I think I started off the show basically saying that there were times when even some of my guys have had blunders and missteps. You know what I'm saying? I was almost like, I seen somebody talking about how, I ain't even gonna get into it. I just see and hear things, right? That people say about certain fighters, and I try to go qualify the information. I can't find anything on it. Nowhere, nothing. You know, we just got to be honest about our fighters, even when it's to our detriment, because that's what they call integrity, man. Sometimes it's embarrassing, man. Like I ain't gonna lie, I'm not related to Brian Norman, but the way I rock with Senior, we the same. I think we like damn near exactly the same age. I rock with Senior, man. But for me, it's embarrassing. As a fan of Brian Norman, I gotta take it on the chin, man, saying, listen, man, I don't like to see a father and a son doing nothing like that after all of the success coming off of a loss. Nasty work. You know, it's embarrassing. But as a fan, we gotta take it on the chin and be responsible about the conversation and at least speak to it. Say something about it. You ain't gotta drag. So see, it's a difference between acknowledging something and speaking on it and refraining from really going in. But aside from actually, that's different than ignoring it. That's gaslighting, acting like it didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Compartmentalizing to the point to where you can't even bring it up or acknowledge it. That's what we got to do. If everybody was doing that, we'll be all right. We would probably get more fights, but the media is pushing everything. They're influencing everything. AC pointed out that legacy media and this new boxing social media, they're in alignment. I said, yikes, that was bars. I'm like, man, that's scary, man. When legacy is in line with boxing and social media and how he who controls the printed page controls the thinking of this age. I tell y'all that for a reason, meaning that if I can control what's coming through the TV screen, look at it. We getting programmed in everything we do. You watch these shows that's coming out. The same thing happening on YouTube. It's just their hands that are pushing it. They're handlers. People that's pulling strings and telling you, hey, go say this, go over here and say that. You put this, yeah, you reiterate how small this guy really is, you know what I'm saying? As he say he gonna go up a weight class, but now he's getting ready to go back down a weight class. We don't know what he doing. Go ahead and say that. Propaganda them spreading. We're not for never gonna do none of that. We're gonna stay like the original rude boy Don Dadas that we are. We're gonna call it like it is, man. Whether it's to our detriment or not. That's all we can do. All facts, shifting opponents, laugh my ass off, trying to make everyone support another fighter over the other. Diverting their attention here instead of there. Yep, sleight of hand. I actually think the fight is going to happen by public demand, laugh my ass. Keep going on podcast. They going to start wondering when you going to fight Tank. They not going to want to watch him after a while. Yeah, it's on borrowed time. You know what I'm saying? You can only like pilfer, loot. You know, you keep going to that well over and over again. You know what I'm saying? You can get caught with your hand in the cookie jar at some point. And you're going to have to stand on business. And when you don't stand on business finally, like myself, finally, when I said I was done with him, I finally had it. Well, I said, you know what? I'm done with it. Why? Because I can't condone you telling us this and then going to go do that, and then you telling us this and then going to go do that. So I was off. But you're going to have fans that's going to turn over as well, just like these jobs. When they have high turnover, people in and out like revolving doors. Yeah, you only got a certain amount of time where you can go back to the well before the well runs dry and fans get fed up. You know what I'm saying? That just is what it is. But I hope y'all got something out of today's content, man. The fuck is a duck, man? If your mans can't really tell you, man, like logically with facts and data or something, an example, they don't even got to be all technical of how your mans is ducking versus how their mans is not, man. Tell them, knock it off. You know what I'm saying? This was part 2, man. We can go on and on. Y'all know I can talk boxing all night. Silence is consent, meaning that all it takes for evil to prevail is for men and women to remain silent. So we speak to the things that need to be spoken to in the sport of boxing. Fruits and veggies, not that Reggie. That fact-based content, not opinion-based, even though we have our own opinions. Sometimes it get heavy, you know what I'm saying? There be some light sparring. Sometimes there be some heavy sparring. Sometimes it might even turn into a debate. The link is always available. I promise you, I had YouTube remove my mute button. I will not mute you. I don't have to do that. But if you want to collab, if you want some smoke, if you want to debate, reach out to me. Bodywork Boxing 365 gmail.com. Holler at me, man. Like the videos, subscribe to the videos. If you haven't, I need 5 more subscribers, y'all. I've been looking at my stats. I just need 5 more. Just 5 more subscribers. You know, you won't be disappointed, man. We've been cranking up the volume a little bit. We've been highlighting people that have voices and that add to the channel. You know, donate to the channel. It's not easy doing content, man. You got to stay motivated. Ain't no motivation, nothing better than seeing a couple dollars in the Cash App or in the Super Chat. And we put effort, energy. We don't just microwave. We don't steal. we don't pilfer from other people. You know what I'm saying? We don't run over here and say, oh, I like high. No, if we do, we will give you credit over here. You know what I'm saying? There gotta be some value in that. You know what I'm saying? We just reached what? I think last Friday we reached 900 downloads and we had like 225,000 views. And I'm a numbers guy, so that based on the amount of subscribers that we got and the amount of views that we get and the traction from impressions and all that, man, number wise, like ratio wise, we killing the game. You know what I'm saying? We just need people that just don't just watch. Subscribe to the channel, man. Support your boy. We put in work, man. We don't have a lot of foolishness, and we keep it all boxing over here for the most part. We start inside the ring and go outside the ring as it's necessary, but we don't be all messy. We'll give you grace. You know what I'm saying? But we will put you on the scale and measure you just like we measure everybody else. Hopefully you was able to put something in your rucksack and march on with it. You know what I'm saying? But until the next time, I think we got something really good that we're going to be speaking on, man. I think y'all really going to appreciate it, man, because it's a much needed conversation. And I know over here in the United States right now, in this category, we're looking kind of anemic in this area, but we got a good one, man. Another good show tomorrow. Anyways, thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. But we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga doing? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to Bodywork.